Oh, don't I sound like a pro?
Hello.
Hello. Sorry. What was I then?
And how the devil is everybody this evening?
I'm very good. I've even, because it's Halloween special, I've made an effort and brought my costume, which I'm going to slip into later. My Ghostbuster suit. Sorry to disappoint you, it's not sexy, slutty zombie nurse. Sorry, just plain old Ghostbuster.
Not even sooty Ghostbuster.
Those costumes do
I know they exist.
Yeah. No, not for me. I didn't want to subject you to that.
Oh well.
I'm going to subject you to something worse with the story I'm going to read you.
Is this one you've written or found?
It's something I found.
Is it some horrible sexual fan fiction?
You're fucking so close that you're almost ruined the surprise. Leave it there.
I think you boys are going to like my quiz.
What is it?
Spectrophilia Spooktacular.
That so fits in.
You know the rules about using the word spooktacular on the Halloween episode.
I had to get a pun in there, mate.
Oh, the kids have been doing my heads in. It's all Halloween at the moment. Fantastic. Everything's fantastic at the moment. Fantastical. So sorry if I end up saying that.
You know that I was thinking about trick or treat today. Did you ever go trick or treating as a kid? Because I used to get told it was begging.
Yes, that's exactly what my mum used to say.
And Halloween was literally a pair of 99p glow-in-the-dark Dracula fangs from the newsagents.
Yeah, or like a sort of plastic mask that
You
was
couldn't do
literally a piece of plastic.
Yeah. Stuck to your face.
Frankenstein,
Yeah.
Dracula, maybe a mummy.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mum said exactly the same thing as begging. Why when you're doing that? I don't think I was that fussed anyway.
No, it wasn't a big thing.
No, but now, yeah, it's huge. It's an industry.
It is, sadly, yeah.
Fucking.
Yeah, so to see it grow into this thing now where you've got like these gangs of children roaming around the streets all dressed up.
And costumes are expensive.
Fucking hell, I wanted a Batman.
I told you he was going to. Sorry.
I was an obligatory Halloween cat jump out of something.
A cat literally just jumped out of the curtains and scared the shit out of me. Dodgy B-movie horror.
But 2 minutes ago you said that exact thing would happen. And it did.
That shows you my short-term memory. That cat's going to scare me in a minute. Literally 2 minutes later, the cat scared me. Wow. We are simple. I'm simple. Sorry.
I'm not arguing.
I just threw you in with me. Right,
should I introduce the show?
Yes, let's start.
Discovery 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions. Roger roll, Discovery.
Alright, so welcome to Cutting Through the Bull in the Post-Truth Apocalypse. I'm Ben, and as always I'm joined by Gaz.
Hello.
And Mike.
Hello.
And Chester, who's making an appearance to start the show. The show cat.
Hey, dude.
For those of you who don't like animals, couldn't give a fuck, he lives here.
Yeah, that's not all we can do about it.
Yeah. Today it's the Halloween special. Woo! And we'll go through some shit about ghosts. And I say shit, but none of us actually believe in ghosts. We're just doing this because it's the time of the year.
But you know,
I don't think any of us actually like Halloween, do we?
I like Halloween. I don't think it's Halloween.
I'm not that fussed because I don't like horror movies.
I'm not a big fan.
I was just about to say I'm not the biggest fan of dressing up, although I am dressed up right now. It doesn't really. I like dressing up. What I don't like about fancy dress parties is the sort of fascist nature of the, like, you know, I'm having a party and if you want to come, you will dress up.
Yeah.
And if you go there not dressed up, then you're a fucking martyr for the entire party.
You're the outcast.
Everybody's like, oh, where's your fucking costume? Couldn't be bothered. And you're like, I'm sorry that I'm not going to let you dictate to me. And why is wearing a silly outfit going to make it more fun?
Yeah.
It's going to make it less fun. Anyway, that was a rant for a different...
I just got a black suit and be the Undertaker.
There you go. Perfect.
There you go.
Which, you know, as I am saying, I'm a fucking legend.
Oh, God. The man, the myth, the ego.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember the narcissist Lex Luger?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, a hero of mine. That steel forearm plate.
Oh yeah, man.
Who can forget when he hip tossed Yokozuna? I mean, body slammed Yokozuna.
On the deck of a fucking
USS
battleship.
Independence, I think it was an aircraft carrier.
America, fuck yeah!
And it was like all the American superstars lining up to try and slam Yokozuna, and then Lex Luger turned up, and everyone thought he was a bad guy.
Yeah.
I think he touched down by helicopter, can't remember.
The Lex, no, it was a bus, the Lex Express. Oh, he might have landed on a helicopter on the ship.
Yeah, you'd have to land on the ship with a helicopter. You've got to drive a bus onto the aircraft carrier. It seems redundant having an aircraft carrier.
Well, I was getting confused because there was the tour, the Lex Express tour, where, you know, they were trying to, he was supposed to be Hulk Hogan's replacement, you know, the all-American hero.
Yeah.
Everyone was just like, eh. That's always seems to be the way when you try and force something down everybody's throat, but that's enough wrestling talk. Shall we introduce the format of our crazy little show here?
Yeah, we can do that, I suppose. Why not? Right, so first of all, we're going to have a look at some weird news, some random shit that we found on the net this week. Take 20 minutes, half an hour, and then we'll tell you some ghostly tales of for All Hallows Eve.
Hallows Eve. Is that the official old?
Yeah, All
real
Hallows
name?
Eve, yeah.
Oh wow.
Not the oldest name for it, it's probably got a lot of names.
Yeah.
I think it's I think the pagans call it Samhain or something like that.
Samhain.
Yeah, but it's more intriguing. It's more interesting with paganism. Like the dead come back to look over the living on this one night. The veil between worlds is at its thinnest, and
Okay.
so it's a bit more fun.
I'm with it. So yeah, let's do some.
In a weird Santa Clausy type way, you're supposed to leave gifts of food out for them.
Oh. Well, I didn't.
No, well, it's not Halloween yet, so it's all right.
Oh, yeah, of course. But this will come out around Halloween, won't
Yes, it will.
Again, that podcasting, time traveling
Magic of editing.
Yeah. So, what's in the weird news this week, boys?
Scientists processed 109 hours of oral sex to develop an AI that sucks dick.
What?
It's like,
I don't
hey,
understand.
what should we do this week, boys? Should we cure cancer? Nah, let's watch 109 hours of oral sex and then we'll fucking program an AI to suck a dick.
Sounds like an excuse to me to watch thousands of hours of pornography.
109 hours of pornography, yeah. The worst of it is they've called it the auto blow. The auto blow AI, a sex toy made for penis possessing individuals. I suppose you can't say men anymore, can you?
Is that what it is?
Well, I suppose so, yeah. Gotta be gender neutral, isn't it?
I did hear that they're lobbying to change the name of Manchester to Person-chester.
I think that was the.
It is a meme.
The
It's
poke.
a joke. It's a joke.
Very good, still nonetheless.
I do like this. Person-chester United. Come on, Person United. Come on, Person United.
What's it gonna be like in 50 years?
It fucking will. The world's gone fucking
No,
mad.
we'll all be goose stepping and throwing salutes at torchlight parades.
You know,
Praying to gold statues of Trump.
You've seen Mrs. Doubtfire.
Mm-hmm.
The scene where his son sees him pissing as a man when he's dressed as the woman.
Yeah.
And he runs back into his sister and he goes, she's a. That's how I feel when I drive past a college in 2018. Honestly, they're all just moulding into one. Oh God, I'm old. Yeah, back to the cocksucking robot.
Yeah, anyway, it's made for penis-possessing individuals. It consists of a rubbery sleeve and a motor housed inside a canister that aims to simulate oral sex. It launched its Indiegogo campaign last week and quickly hit its goal of $50,000. $50,000?
Yeah, well, because you always get, with Kickstarters and that, you get rewards. So I imagine that one of the rewards is if you donate up to $5,000, you could be one of the first 200 people to test the machine.
Why would I want to be a tester? If I was going to use it, and there's a big fucking if,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, come on, in 10 years' time we'll all be using it.
Well, maybe so, but even now, right, I don't want to be one of the first people that tests it. What if it rips my dick off?
Well,
It's experimental.
you know, somebody's got to step up and be brave.
Well, I'm not in this
Test it.
scenario. It's not one small pump for man in this fucking experience.
There's no jet planes, there's no shuttle without those brave test pilots, many of whom died in a blaze of glory.
I'll go out in a blaze of glory. I'm having my dick ripped off. I'm not living without a penis.
So what I don't get is the AI bit of it. I guess if we read the article we'll find out. But I'm guessing it's watched so much porn that it can, perform what it sees to be a decent standard blowjob.
Yeah, the Auto Blow 2, which is the new model, is a machine learning algorithm that continually changes technique in order to pleasure the user in new and exciting ways. Instead of repetitive mechanical motions, this AI mode promises to replicate the nuanced and unpredictable motions of a real human blowjob. In order to do this, the company asked a team of 6 people to watch and annotate 109 hours of porn and hired machine learning engineers to create a model to take all that data and translate it into what the toy does. The entire process took 3 years. 3 years. We could have gone to Mars. We could have cured cancer. Instead, we've got a bunch of people.
Real human blowjob. I don't want it to tire out after 5 minutes. I have to finish myself off.
How much money did it say they'd raised?
50 grand.
50 grand. Do you know how many hookers you could... How many hours with a hooker for 50 grand?
Yeah.
You don't need a fucking machine sucker. I don't know how I feel about this.
Well, the result of this research is the blowjob paper. A study that's full of sexy, or at least sexually themed, algorithmic research. In this work, we seek to quantify the common or typical movements involved in oral sex performed on males, the paper begins. To do so, we analyse a data set containing over 108 hours of pornographic video, annotated at each frame, oh man, that sucked the joy out of watching it, with the position of the lips along the shaft of the penis. We use quantization techniques to discover 16 distinct motions, and using these motions, we design and evaluate a system that procedurally generates realistic movement sequences using deep learning. We quantitatively show this system is superior to simple Markov chain techniques, whatever the fuck one of them is. Either way, I'm getting sucked off by a rubber tube and not a pair of plump, warm female lips.
I think I found a flaw in their approach here as well. They've watched 109 hours or 108 hours of pornography, which is a performance.
Yeah.
Right? Wouldn't it have been better to pay real couples? Right, let's see how real couples do oral sex. Because that's not a performance. It's not designed to be showy. They're not showing off for the camera, they're just getting the fucking job done. I feel it would have been...
But does the fact that it's been recorded make it a performance?
Oh, they've got to go frame by frame, haven't they?
They have to do it secretly. They have to sneak into people's wardrobes.
I just think this thing is going to give you a porn star blowjob, which, although they look good on camera, they might not actually get you to orgasm as efficiently, let's say, than, someone called Debbie who works in a chip shop who's just trying to make you come as quickly as possible so she can go back to texting on her phone.
Or flipping chips.
That was my point. Yeah.
Yeah, but it wants to get the best oral sex, not like...
Yeah, but my point is...
You don't know Debbie. You don't know what Debbie's technique's like.
He just said it was shit.
No. She's doing it as efficiently as possible.
I see.
But the porn star one is it's all show and flash for the camera, but it might not actually get you to, where you need to be. And this all got very technical very quickly, and I'm sorry, I feel uncomfortable.
No, I get what you mean.
Oh, there's diagrams of the tube. This is turning me on. Quick, move on.
I don't like it. I don't think we should be turning over stuff like that to robots.
No. I mean, you know how I feel about AI.
I've got some AI baiting for you later on.
Fantastic, thank you. I don't think we need to be turning over sex. I mean, if I was a single man, I might be interested in one of those robot brothels just for the story, and if they could guarantee me the robot is thoroughly cleaned. Like,
thoroughly.
If I could watch it be cleaned.
That would, I'd want to watch that robot be cleaned.
Then I'm not going to lie, leave me alone with it for an hour, I'll fuck it. Just to tell you what it was like. But I'm not, so that's never going to happen. So let's move on before I get myself in any further trouble.
I wonder if in the future we'll all date sort of robots.
Probably.
So
well, we'll be part robot ourselves.
That's a good point, yeah.
Well, you'll have like an AI program that acts like a girlfriend that you chat to online. It's like, evening Mike, how was your day at Champo.
Yeah, but she'll be a
Jedi
solid
Temple.
thing.
But
She'll be a
then
solid thing. Hopefully.
No, she won't be walking around. It'll be like an AI that follows you around the house, but there'll be like a fanny portal, next to the toaster or something. Do you know what I mean? It'll be somewhere in the
groinal
house
attachment.
where it's like, Mike, around this time of day you usually like to orgasm. Would you like me to open the vagina receptacle? Yes, I would. And then you just fuck a hole in the wall a bit. You know.
What about
like one of them
but I
tubes
thought it'd be
in it.
like I can't remember which film it is, but he sort of sat down and it's sort of like a image projected hologram over you.
What about if
The
it's
Lawnmower Man. No.
What about Futurama, where you just upload a celebrity's personality onto a blank robot?
Well, there we go.
Yeah. And then find out that celebrity's annoying as fuck.
Yeah, maybe.
If
Yeah.
you've got AI robots that look extremely human.
Well, those realistic sex dolls that are out there,
Yeah.
if that had AI and the ability to walk around,
and add a personality and everything.
I would still prefer a human. I'm not going to lie.
So would I.
Have you ever watched the film Her?
No, I haven't. You're not
You
going to
haven't,
convince
no.
me that a robot woman's better than a real
Watch Her and then come back to me and tell me.
It's in Ben-Hur. That's similar. I take it that there's no chariot racing in your version.
No.
one. It was called Bend Her.
Joaquin Phoenix. It's a good film.
Alright, okay.
Well,
Next article.
Just talking about this sexy AI robot, sorry.
Okay, this. Have you just. I have gone fucking weird this week.
oh,
Dads may soon to be able to breastfeed their newborn babies with the first ever chest feeding kit. No, I'm not interested.
cats and dogs living together.
End of the world.
Fucking pandemonium. What is the world coming
Yeah,
to?
wait till you read it.
When it comes to having babies, it's the woman who has to do all the hard work. Well, I'm not going to disagree. She's got to grow a human inside of her 9 months, push it into her body, and then make milk to nourish the little one. All while her partner watches. But soon there may be a new way for the man to get more involved in the process, and it's all down to a kit created by a university student from London. Marie Claire Springham, a product design student at Central St Martin's, is in the process of making a chest feeding kit. The idea behind the product is for dads to be able to help moms who are struggling to breastfeed their newborns. Still in the conception stage, the kit is yet to be tested, but contains a cocktail of hormones the man would take while his partner is pregnant in order to grow milk ducts. So I'm fucking with my body. I'm putting
Grow milk ducts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Seriously?
Fuck no.
The main hormone is progestine, a form of the female sex hormone progesterone, which helps to stimulate production of milk-producing glands. I'm not down with this at all. And that's not the male chauvinist pig in me. That's just that I don't want to breastfeed a child. That's not how nature meant for me to behave as a father.
Everything about this is deeply disturbing.
Yeah.
And it's not about gender politics. It's about the phrase to grow ducts.
I'm changing
Tubes.
my body.
Milk ducts.
Yes.
Is it irreparable? Am I always going to have them milk ducts then?
Well,
Am I going to
I'll find
lactate
out.
the rest of my fucking life? You're going to...
There's going to be a new category on YouPorn anyway.
Fucking too right.
Lactating fat man
Well,
porn.
the man will grow moobs or man boobs up to a B cup until
Fucking
they
hell, I've
start
already
taking
got a big one, be double D, I'll take that.
It's just like...
I've already got a pig.
I've got a dad bod, I've got man boobs, I'm not going to... I'm not even a dad, I've still got one. But yeah, it's like, I don't want man boobs. Imagine going to work, you're leaking. Gaz gets out of his van to deliver some quality hardware, and he's got a big wet patch on his t-shirt where his moobs have leaked.
Sorry, I'm just lactating for my infant son.
I've got overactive milk ducts, you don't know.
Oh God.
Marie Claire hopes her idea will help stop fathers from feeling left out when raising their baby. I wouldn't feel left out.
No, I don't think this is the answer. Teach them how to change nappies, maybe.
Yeah, or use a bottle a bit more.
Yeah.
Just a picture of
Just stop fucking with our genetics, you silly cow. Fucking student scum.
Alright, next
What
one.
about them put a picture of a man with moobs on, just so we know what they're about?
Just in case we couldn't picture it.
I didn't realise he'd stole my picture.
Oh man.
I can't help but notice a running theme of your weird news this week,
There is
Mike.
this real lot of sex.
sex-crazed fish becoming super horny because of huge levels of antidepressants in the water supply. I don't know what that says about our modern society, Ron, but
Yeah.
That's so tragic.
It's crazy, isn't
You
it?
know, when I was reading on the Lonely, before I went to Milan for the first time, I was reading like the Lonely Planet Guide or something like that. And it said that in Milan, they found trace elements of cocaine in the sewage system just because there's that many people taking cocaine. It's the financial capital, it's the fashion capital, there's a lot of coke. But over here, in the water, it's antidepressants. We're all pissing out. Wow. Sorry, please read it to me. I'm very intrigued.
scientists noted fish that were more exposed to Prozac, which our treatment centres can't remove from the water supply, tried to mate more often.
Well,
Fish are becoming increasingly horny because of the massive quantities of unnatural chemicals in the water.
because they're not depressed anymore.
Yeah. Animals that were given the drug in a tank spent more time chasing females than those that weren't. We could just argue that those maybe were the horniest fish by coincidence.
Yeah, I guess, but I suppose it's pretty depressing being a fish. And then a bit of Prozac gets in your gills, and all of a sudden you're like, woo!
Hey, it might counter the problem with the fishing stocks.
There you go, yeah. You should just dump liquid Prozac into the water.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
just
not a bad plan.
There you go.
Scientist Michael Bertram dosed male mosquito fish in an aquarium with high and low quantities of fluoxetine, the active ingredient in Prozac.
Yeah.
The fish given higher doses showed more frequent they wanted to fuck more. And he then wrote in Science Trends, in one-on-one mating trials, males in the high fluoxetine treatment perform more frequently copulatory behaviour towards females than did males in the unexposed treatment.
Wow.
I just find it disturbing that there's that many people on Prozac. The fish are getting horny.
It's a
Mad,
sad,
isn't it?
like we said, it's a sad indictment on the state of our society. There's literally that many people taking it that it's in our water supply. It's passing through our system and getting into the water supply. It's a medicated world, isn't it?
Of course.
But do they all need it, or do they all?
Well, it's not a good society when majority of people on antidepressants,
No,
and
it's not.
the biggest killer of men, sort of middle-aged men our age, is suicide.
Are we middle-aged now? I suppose we are.
Oh yeah.
Fuck,
I
I'm
think
not
sort
going to
of-
live longer than 70.
I think
aren't
30 to 45 is.
Am I
It's a
halfway
high
through my
suicide.
life?
Yeah.
Yeah. 78.
Yeah, you're
Might
35
be
now.
74 for men actually.
Yeah. It's dropped.
Halfway.
Yeah.
I still think of myself as
I
young.
know.
Yeah, me too. I'm in my 20s mentally.
Halfway. Whoa, we're halfway there. Fuck, I wish I did more with my life.
Yeah. Mind you, you've had some fun.
Yeah, but it was also a very sobering moment for me then, like halfway. So it just gets worse from here, all the aches and pains.
Yeah.
And the,
You're a slave on a Masonic tax farm, as we said
fucking
before.
hell, soon I'll be waving my walking stick at transgender autistic people.
Voting Tory. It'll happen to us all.
Wow. Well, yeah, you know, better enjoy it while it lasts then.
Might as well start drinking that water gas.
Yeah. Oh dear.
That's weird news. Let's get to the main cut and thrust of today's topic after a piss break, if that's alright.
Sounds good to me.
And we're back, and Gaz has his... you didn't write this, did you? You found it on the net.
Yes, I'll better explain first how. I wanted to find a story, you know, some sort of ghost story, you know, something freaky, weird to read for our Halloween special. And that led me down a path. I was trying to find, there must be such a thing as satanic erotica, or, you know, and yes, there is, lots of it. And it also led me down a path. Are you aware of fan fiction?
I am.
Are you aware of slash fiction? Which is
No.
fan fiction with an erotic twist.
Right.
So yeah, I'm going to read to you some erotic Ghostbusters fan fiction.
Okay.
And I'm going to...
Is this going to ruin my childhood?
Oh yes. And it's going to be fun. It's a treat for Halloween.
Great.
I even wore the uniform.
Yeah, I can see, yeah.
Just for you.
Although technically that's the new Ghostbusters uniform.
Yeah, alright, technically I'm dressed as a woman.
That we don't speak of.
I'm wearing a woman's Ghostbusters.
We don't speak of that Ghostbusters.
It's unisex.
We don't speak of that Ghostbusters, you know the rules.
Okay, well, this story is called Stay Puffed.
Oh god.
Here we go. Don't forget to turn out the lights, called Venkman as he slunk his way out of the fire station doors. He was calling to Ray, as Ray was the only member of the Ghostbusters staff left in the building. I won't, Ray called back. He let out a long, deflated sigh. Venkman was out on another date. Of course he was. He always was. Ray was morose and mournful, lamenting the fact that he was the only Ghostbuster home, and he was seemingly the only Ghostbuster who couldn't get his dick wet. Winston not only got his dick wet, but he also got paid for doing so. Turns out there is no shortage of perverse rich men from Manhattan who will happily pay to watch Winston destroy their wives' vaginas with his magnificent policeman's nightstick of a cop. Night after night, Winston pumped away, usually with his Ghostbusters uniform still round his ankles, while some hedge fund manager luridly and limply jerked himself off in the corner. Even the science-obsessed Egon had a kinky sex life, the likes of which Raymond could only dream of. Ray knew this firsthand because one night he heard strange noises coming from the reception area of the station. He could hear the PKE meter making noises he hadn't ever heard it make before. It sounded extremely active and also strangely muffled. He went down to investigate and found receptionist Janine with her legs slung over Egon's shoulders and the PKE meter halfway inserted into her gaping vagina. "We've got one!"
Oh.
She screamed.
Oh.
How we doing, boys? We're nearly at the end of page 1.
I feel like I've aged 10 years in the last 2 minutes.
Masturbation had lost its allure a long time ago for Ray. The only way he could gain some sexual gratification was to open up one of their ghost traps and dangle his ginger penis over the tractor beam.
Well, he's got a ginger penis.
Yeah, he's ginger, isn't he?
Yeah, but his penis wouldn't be ginger.
It's the penis of a ginger man. That's the only problem you've got with what I've read so far.
I've got massive problems with all of it.
Okay. The device was designed to capture spirits and demons from other dimensions, and if Ray got the angle of entry wrong, it would likely rip his cock off. However, if Ray dangled his dong just right, the vibrational forces would inflate his foreskin just slightly, and the result was a mind-blowing expulsion of Ray's spaff juice right into the trap. Best thing was, Ray didn't even have to clean up after himself. He just took the jizz-filled trap down to the containment unit and emptied it.
Oh,
Light
man.
is green, trap is clean.
Oh, so he's just throwing his jizz into that ghost container. All the ghosts are in there. And then, don't go too close to that. Oh!
Yeah. Ray got a kick out of thinking about all the nasty ghouls stuck inside the containment unit, swimming around in Ray's semen. The unit was an unlicensed nuclear device which kept the city safe from all the captured ghosts. Ray knew that there were only so many sackloads of spunk soldiers that he could put in there. It might fill up, which would mean that Egon would have to go in there and to fix it. Ectoplasm indeed. Ray was desperate for some human sexual contact. The last thing to suck him off, apart from the trap, was a ghost. It was getting ridiculous. His thoughts of his sex life were interrupted by the ringing of the station phone. Ray answered and took the details. It was a haunted apartment on Staten Island, small apparition, nothing he couldn't handle alone. Thank God I emptied the trap, he thought to himself. Moments later, Ray and the Ghostbusters' domesticated ghoul, Slimer, were roaring at full speed in Ecto 1 down the highway and into the action.
Why is Slimer going on a call?
He's their little mate, he's their pet, isn't he?
You can leave him at home, wouldn't you? Take the phone calls and all that.
Well, you'll see. They pulled up to a dirty and dilapidated apartment block and began the long trek to the top floor. Ray had told Slimer to wait in the car, but started to wish that he had just sent the green lunatic up instead. Ray knocked the door and tried hard to hold his repulsion when it finally opened. Standing in front of him was the most ghastly thing he had ever seen. It was a human woman, but she was easily around 800 pounds in weight. The folds of her blubbery arms and legs all cascaded into each other like sausages filled with slime. Her giant stomach swung down by her shins like a lardy pendulum on a human clock. She was also naked, as far as Ray could tell. He tried desperately not to stare at the rashy parts of her legs, red raw from rubbing together. The rash was all over her greasy gelatin frame of raw, blubbery human mass. The largest woman Ray had ever seen by a long shot. And this was America. Ray had seen plenty of big people, but this was something else. The giant woman threw her cigarette over Ray's shoulder into the hallway. Ray turned and crushed it out with his boot. Safety first. I would have preferred Winston, but you'll do. Follow me, Tubby. Her giant gargling voice said as she turned, and then her flab turned a full second after her, rubbing and opening up the sores and rashes adorning her body.
Great.
Ray followed through to the living area.
I bet he followed through, I know. I would have known.
Where's the little critter, he asked. The giant woman raised one of her gargantuan wobbling arms with its layers and folds of swinging flesh and pointed to a bedroom. Ray nodded and went from the room. As he passed by the mountain of cascading, sweaty, sliming, stinking, unwashed woman, he felt a sharp pain in the back of his head, and then he was unconscious. When he awoke, he was horrified to find himself naked and tied to a bed. The giant woman thundered into the room at a surprising rate of knots and punched Ray square in the face, splitting his lip and knocking him loopy. She was holding a gun. Excuse me a second.
Wow, this is taking a turn for the dark. I hope this is consensual.
Well, hey, listen, you wanted a horror story, and I found you one. The folds of her rolling chin drooped down like a hipster's beard made of jelly and covered in rash. It all began to sway as she spoke. I'm going to untie you, and you're going to do exactly as I say, or I'm going to blow your goddamn head off. And if this gun isn't enough to control you, I will use that. She motioned towards Ray's proton pack in the corner. She untied him and punched him again, and then just as Ray was seeing stars, the monster woman wrapped her banana-like fingers around Ray's cock and jerked him just enough to get his attention. Despite being terrified, Ray was still the most desperate he had ever been, and even this giant shovel of a hand, with its sandpaper-like sores and spots in its crevices, even that was enough to get him hard. Then just as he began to accept the hand job, she stopped and pistol whipped him to the floor. You're going to do exactly as I say, she bellowed. Over there on the side is a large amount of white face paint. You are going to rub that face paint into every single square inch of my body. You are going to get your fingers into every crevice, every single part of me, until I am bright white from head to toe. Then I am going to put on that sailor's hat, and you will call me Mrs. Stay Puffed.
Oh, God.
And then I am going to rape you half to death and dump you in the street, and you will never tell a soul. She grabbed his chin and turned his bleeding face toward hers. Or I could just blow your brains out now. What'll it be, Raymond? I'll do whatever you want, just don't kill me, spluttered Ray. She punched him, this time in the back of the head. What's my name, Ray? Mrs. Stay Puffed, Mrs. Stay Puffed. Good boy, she said. It took Ray nearly 3 hours to rub the paint over her masses and folds of flesh. It was mentally excruciating. She would tease his cock from time to distract him, and then slap him. And when his hands moved over the breakouts of rashes spread over her rolling, interweaving mounds of lard and skin, he felt like puking. Finally, she was painted all over. It had taken Ray a full 45 minutes just to do her arse crack. It was bigger than the first car Ray had ever owned. He was tired and distraught, and his cock was confused from all the teasing it had endured. Now, Ray, you're going to be a good boy, and you're going to let me tie you up again for a little while. Don't worry, we're nearly there. Reluctantly, Ray went and lay down on the bed. Mrs. Stay Puffed tied his arms above his head, and then tied his legs. You're going to taste heaven, Mr. Ghostbuster. To Ray's eternal horror, the 800-pound Mrs. Stay Puffed lifted her mammoth leg and swung it over Ray's body. Then she dumped her entire frame down and face at him. Ray thrashed his arms in a vain attempt at getting free. The woman began to grind her giant balloon heavyweight hips back and forth. rubbing her giant, sweaty, swampy minge all over Ray's screaming face. She rode back and forth so Ray's face got a full taste of both her pungent pussy and her boggy arsehole. It smelt like seawater and sewage mixed with a compost heap. It was like a portal to a dimension made of festival toilets. Her arse hairs were as thick as power cables. Why was this happening to him? Ray finally passed out from a lack of oxygen to the brain, and not for the first time that night, he was unconscious. While out cold, Ray blissfully looked down at his cock. Was he dreaming? The beautiful Dana was wearing a leather skin-tight Ghostbuster suit and sensually sucking on his grateful shaft. He must be dreaming, right? His face hurt. Ray blinked a few times. He looked down again. A sailor's hat. Why was the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man sucking his cock? Where was Dana? Then it all came back to him. Mrs. Stay Puft took Ray to the edge of orgasm, then stopped. She untied him, and then began to viciously beat him again. Ray cowered in the corner of the room. Then he saw it. His proton pack. He went for it, but Mrs. Stay Puft got there first. Naughty boy, she said. She took the proton pack and switched it on. No, be careful, said Ray. Shut up, Mr. Stance. It's payback time. For what? Asked Ray. Being naughty, she replied. She used her giant girth to hoist Ray up and over the bed, with his ass up in the air, exposed.
Oh god, I don't know where this is going.
The nozzle of the proton pack had
Say that
heated up to an almost red-hot heat in preparation to fire. She stuffed the nozzle down inside of Ray's anus, searing away inches of his anal tract, widening it considerably. It was the most white-hot pain Ray had ever felt. Every nerve in his system screamed with agony, and his ego was destroyed too, as he was being raped by his own proton pack. He was unconscious once again. He woke in a surreal amount of pain. He was burning from the inside. His proton pack lay in front of him, and his trap off to the side. Where was Mrs. Stay Puft? Ray was sure he could hear the familiar sounds of Slimer filling his face. Ray gingerly slipped on his uniform and put on the proton pack. His anus was a gaping wound of fire, but he was alive. He had never used the proton pack on a human, but after tonight's events, he was keen to see the results. He kicked open the door, and there it was. Mrs. Stay Puft sat in an armchair. She had stuffed her cavernous vagina with hot dogs, beef jerky, potato chips, dog food, and gravy. And there was Slimer, gobbling it all,
Oh man.
slobbering it all with his demon tongue. Mrs. Stay Puft rolled her gargantuan head back and moaned in pleasure. Her sailor's hat fell to the floor. Ray primed the trap. Slimer, get the hell out of the way, or you're going to go and live in the containment unit with that ghost from the library and about 14 trillion of my spunks, said Ray. A shocked and frankly ashamed Slimer flew straight out through the apartment wall. Ray threw the trap into Mrs. Stay Puft's gaping, pulsating, supersized pussy, and it shot in there like a hockey puck in a net. See you in hell, said Ray, and switched on the trap. It began to rip her molecules apart from the inside out, and she tore open like a potato chip packet. The smell was like the digestive tracts of 1,000 camels. Within seconds, she was gone. Ray stumbled and winced his way down to Ecto 1. He sat in the seat as his newly forged arsehole raged on in pain. He didn't even come. All that, and he didn't even get to come. He placed his head on the steering wheel and began to sob in the cold, dark night of New York City.
Well, that was harrowing.
Happy Halloween, guys!
Fuck me.
Well, that was harrowing.
I thought Jimmy Savile Christmas was going to be bad.
Wow.
Well,
Literally speechless.
I think that's the first time in the history of the show. You're speechless. There's another one that I can read you later if you want about
you're right.
Slimer raping Sam from the Ghostbusters, the human.
No, you're okay.
No?
No.
Maybe how big Slimer's dong
I
is.
don't want to know. It's not something I'd ever considered.
You wanted a horror story. Have I not just read you something horrific?
Yes.
He got raped by a giant woman dressed as Mr. Stay Puft.
It's just... Who's thinking of that? At what point does that even cross into someone's head?
Did you?
Well, I found one online about Sam, and I was going to read it to you because it's pretty gross, and I was like, I could do grosser. So, yeah, don't judge me. I was trying to out-gross.
I knew he wrote it. I knew the style. After reading that god-awful, what was it called?
Hey, you're not referring to my my writing
You
skills.
took in the manifesto or the comic.
That's it. The manifesto. No,
But they're both. Everything I write is filthy and dark. But I think, you know,
that was good. It was twisted.
I'm glad
Who thinks of that?
me when I'm trying to gross you out, and it
You
works.
certainly fucking did.
I'll take a break.
You
I have to
guys
go
just,
for a whack. I mean, a
you both
piss.
just gonna leave me here.
Mike's got a raging erection.
Busting makes me feel good.
I can't ever watch that film again. So we're back from that horrific tale of...
You wanted a horror story for Halloween. Was that not a horror story?
It was. Not very ghosty though.
Well, it was about the fucking Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Doesn't get much more
More,
ghosty
it's
than
more
that.
rapey than anything.
It was actually, wasn't it? Yeah.
I read a story online about Slimer raping Sam Witwicky from the Transformers, and I was going to read that out. That was my plan. And I read it through a couple of times to practice, and I was like, do you know what? I can write something way more disgusting than this, and I fucking did, and I'm actually quite proud of myself. Right? The idea was to freak you out. My missus has just texted me, I hope it went well, because I was a little concerned about reading it out, to be honest. I was like, I hope people don't think I'm, you know, demented. My missus,
Oh, they wouldn't think that. Not after hearing that. No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't think that at all.
she's
I think
literally,
you're perfectly sane.
she's just texted me, right, look, I hope the story goes well as expected and the boys aren't turned on too much winky face. I put, they were both stunned into silence. Oh, happy Halloween. And you can't edit out the podcast because I'm going to put it on our Facebook page anyway.
All right.
You can't run away from it.
That's bound to attract a lot of listeners.
Yeah. Maybe we shouldn't have done that first.
It's the Halloween episode. You're going to
No,
read
it's
to me
good.
about real people getting murdered and stuff, aren't you? Probably.
I got some ghosts to tell you about first.
Ghosts?
Yeah.
Is there any rape?
No, not every ghost is a rapist, guys.
Not interested.
I've got a bit of rape for later.
Jesus Christ.
Come on, this is like...
This is gonna be fucking...
Wasn't it our Christmas special where you just told us about lots of horrific serial killers and
Yeah.
murders and stuff?
Yeah.
Well, that's what we've done for Halloween.
Well, you've got a bit rapey
Instead
though,
of
haven't you?
murder, it's all a bit rapey.
I think Gaz out-raped me, but...
Okay.
Alright. So, do you remember the tsunami that Japan experienced a few years ago?
I do.
Then the Fukushima area where the nuclear reactor. Horrific disasters have long proven to draw themselves stories of the eternally restless souls of the tragically killed. And it seems that such a massive number of deaths dealt with in the blink of an eye and the torment that roils around such events imbue these areas with a dark presence that settles in amongst the rubble of what once was. In March of 2011, tragedy struck Japan. A massive magnitude 9 earthquake tore through, generating a devastating tsunami that battered the coastal Tohoku region of the country's eastern coast and leaving death and destruction in its wake. If that wasn't bad enough, the nuclear power plant was so badly damaged that it went into nuclear meltdown. There that was one of the worst in history, poisoning the environment, the animals, the people, and causing lasting ripples that reverberate to this day.
Yeah, radioactive boars.
Radioactive boars, can't shoot them fast enough. Scroll down a bit more for me, please.
Just rape them with a proton pack.
Oh, they need it. They keep on glowing like that. Scroll up a bit more. A bit more.
Fucking hell. Back to where I was now.
Close enough. Here amongst the rubble left behind by the grim disaster, those left living picked through all, trying to slowly rebuild their lives while mourning the dead. And by all accounts, it seems that these restless dead were still with them in a sense. Not so long after the quake and tsunami hit, there began to trickle in a variety of odd reports, telling of encounters with the ghosts of those whose lives had been cut short in the tragedy. Witnesses spoke of seeing the phantoms of people lining up at abandoned supermarkets and shops that had been left in shambles, the ghosts of people lingering around places they had frequented in life, and spectres skulking around the barren, jagged rubble that had once been their homes. There was also been terrifying visions of ghostly figures frantically running inland as if from the waves, only to dissipate into thin air as they flee. Many people claim that they had been approached by people who they had known in life, but knew to be dead, who spoke to them briefly or asked for help before fading away right before their eyes. One elderly woman from Naga, who had died in the disaster, had the rather unsettling habit of showing up at a refugee camp for a casual cup of tea, with witnesses claiming they hadn't the heart to tell her she was dead. She apparently would leave behind wet splotches of seawater. Some even complained of sinister presidents sitting heavily upon their chests as they lie in bed at night.
We've gone from rape to cups of tea.
Yeah?
Well, we are British.
Very true. The hashtag Me Too in this country just refers to another cup of tea.
Milk, 2 sugars, please.
Hashtag Me Too.
Yeah.
Some of the creepiest reports have come from the affected region's taxi drivers. Bloody hell, Chester. Sorry.
It's okay.
Such accounts were especially prevalent in the city of Ishimaki in Japan's Miyagi prefecture, which had been hit hard by the tsunami and lost an estimated 6,000 people to it. Many of the bodies have now been found, and here on these dark streets, taxi drivers have even now claimed to have picked up spectral passengers. One driver described how he picked up a young woman from a couple of months after the disaster who had wished to go from Ishimaki station to the Minihama district, an area that had been thoroughly erased by the existence of the tsunami. When the driver told her there was nothing left there to drive to, she calmly asked him, "Have I died?" before dematerialising.
That'd creep me the fuck out. Have I died? Oh,
So many people
shit. I
reporting
just
it.
shit myself, not that
I'm
much.
trying to think of practical explanations. Could there have been some sort of gas leak?
I think maybe a radiation poisoning.
Yeah.
Maybe some kind of weird collective shared PTSD.
Oh yeah. I don't like the sound of it. Do you know what I mean? I like the sound of that explanation in terms of it being right.
Hang on, there's a bit more. Many other drivers in the area report similar experiences of picking up passengers only to have them vanish during the drive. In every one of these cases, the drivers have been convinced they were carrying a living, breathing person. In one case, a passenger gave specific instructions to go to an address which turned out to be a levelled house, but when the driver turned around, the passenger was mysteriously gone. Interestingly, none of them reported having felt any sense of fear at the time, most likely because they were convinced they were transporting real people. And in all cases, the phantoms are reported as being quite young. Yuka Kudu, who's a senior at the Tokugawa University, interviewed 100 taxi drivers. 7 came forth, which I suppose isn't a lot, but taxi drivers are fairly level-headed people. They're not going to want to admit to that kind of thing.
In
Well,
terms
they
of
might be
peop-
driving like 18 hours straight.
That's also
But
true.
in terms of
Seen
people
shit.
having seen ghosts, 7's quite a lot, isn't it?
If 100, yeah, I guess so.
Come forward and say, like, I'm willing to say publicly, you know, it's quite a reserved society, isn't it? As we've learnt on our...
Yes, absolutely. One of the drivers said, "It's not strange to see a ghost here, but if I encounter a ghost again, I will accept it as my passenger."
He's not going to pay, is he?
Well, maybe he's just think he's doing him a favour. Maybe he's putting his soul at rest by getting him home.
Well, Slimer learnt to drive a bus
Yeah,
and wear a hat, so
Yeah.
maybe, you go, get
There
these
you go.
ghosts driving the taxis.
that's a valid point. Employ the dead.
If Gaz's tail's anything to go by, they'll probably try and rape you.
Don't judge me. I was just trying to do a funny little feature for the show. I don't want to rape a Ghostbuster. I know I'm dressed as one as we record.
I think you want us to rape you. That's why you're dressed as a Ghostbuster.
I'm very happy with my girlfriend. She never puts anything in my butt. What do you think of the Japanese ghosts?
She's by any chance got a Stay Puft costume?
What do you think of the Japanese ghosts, boys?
There's a little bit more actually. There's a few more.
Go for it.
Other ghostly tales plagued the area for some time. Offices, homes and shops were said to be haunted and frequented by the dead. Emergency service, who were in overdrive, trying to provide relief to the survivors, reported being called to locations that had long been destroyed and abandoned, with no one even sure how anyone could have made a call from the spot in the first place. People all over the area frequently complained of having ghosts cause mischief in their homes or suddenly appear to startle or frighten. Even to the point where there's spiritual possessions by the bitter, restless dead, to the point where Buddhist and Shinto priests are serving as exorcists.
Wow.
There was the one account as well. I don't know if it's in this article a bit later on, but I did read it, and it was they get a knock at the door, and there'll be this person who's soaking wet who asks them if they've got a towel and some clothes.
Oh yeah.
They close the door, they go back in to get the towel and the clothes, open the door again, and there's like 20, 30 people on the front lawn, all soaking wet.
Did we cover that?
We did touch on it a little bit, but
I've definitely heard that.
Yeah. And we've spoken a bit before.
I think you're right on the lines when you say it's got to be a mass sort of collective trauma to everyone's psyche, the survivors.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's
maybe hallucinations are part of that. If they're hallucinations, I don't know. I don't really believe in ghosts, so I don't. But
I mean, imagine if like Telford got virtually wiped off the map tomorrow, where we need listeners, and like there's 6,000 people gone. That's most of, I don't know, Maidley's gone.
Yeah.
And you're like, the area down there just looks like an A-bomb's hit it. I mean, that's got to have some kind of effect on the populace, hasn't it?
Probably wouldn't notice if that.
Well, no, it was
Sutton Hill.
It is Sutton Hill, no one would fucking notice. Yeah, there's plenty of brain dead zombies walking around there, and the area looks a bit shit. So yeah, no one would notice. I went down there. I had an ex who lived in Sutton Hill. So it's a bit of a tangent. I went to this shitty shop they've got on the estate. Gangs of chavs hanging around everywhere. Shit lager selection, and I mean awful, because people must be... If they get something too good, people will probably nick it.
Yeah. Tons of Keller.
Castlemaine 4X, shit
hell.
like that. I hate Castlemaine 4X, it's a terrible lager. And
drink too much Kelly, you go blind.
Like Helen Keller. Yeah. But I walked out there with my 8-pack of Castlemaine 4X, because it was the best, shittest lager I could afford at the time. Well, and I've never felt in my life like I was going to get stabbed more than I ever have at that moment.
I tell you what, that is a horrible lager.
It is a terrible. It goes flat off with the can. It's awful.
Disgusting.
Well,
I tried it once. I've never tried it again.
If you've got nothing else though, it'll do, wouldn't it? Because it's wet.
I genuinely thought I was going to get stabbed. Then we would have a ghost.
I'd rather drink the Listerine than the Castlemaine.
I'd rather be like your tramp mate and drink my Dettol.
Yeah. Dettol?
Dettol out of a brown paper bag at 8 o'clock on a Monday morning. Yeah, Tsunami Ghosts. It's a creepy tale.
It is pretty.
And the one thing that kind of is weird is like all around all this tragedy they do get these tales. Is it like some emotional imprint left? I'm not saying they're ghosts, maybe it's like some weird energy capture.
But it defies the laws of physics.
Thermodynamics, yes.
Unless they're wrong. I mean, there's been plenty of times in history where the scientists haven't been correct on things.
It's true enough.
Evidence came out later on to prove it was wrong.
It's weird as you do get this kind of thing based around this horrible tragedy, but
Well,
then again,
Gaz says it might be like a
collective PTSD.
yeah, or it could be swamp gas.
Yeah.
Swamp gas reflecting off the moon, which is
trying to-
then like refracting from Venus.
There's
Yeah.
been a
Something with
tsunami.
practical-
and It's cleared up a lot of
Nuclear radioactive water.
that or gas pockets in the earth.
Yeah, and everyone's just tripping balls a little bit. Maybe the Japanese government is driving around releasing airborne antidepressants and things.
Oh, that's all the fish are horny as well in Japan.
to calm everyone the fuck down because something so horrific has happened. And
It's all the chemicals in the sea. When it hits the land, everyone's getting on all these.
Yeah.
Or it's ghosts.
Oh, it's ghosts.
Or it's ghosts.
The taxi driver ones are quite creepy though. They're like, am I dead?
Well, you tell me, fucking ghosty. You will be if you don't pay the fucking fare. Show me the colour of your spirit money.
Give some yen.
Right.
We've got an English werewolf next, Old Stinker.
Old Stinker?
And why we should welcome his return.
What a British name.
Because he's been seen in Hull, of all places.
Ye old stinker.
Well, there is a portal to hell in Hull, so...
Well, wouldn't surprise me. Over the last few months, this is in Yorkshire as well.
There's one in every town, Mike. It's called the Weatherspoons. Sorry.
Oh yeah, you can guarantee whatever time you go in a Weatherspoons and they all open about 8 AM, there's always someone with a fucking double vodka.
Oh yes. I love the range though. You've got little old ladies having their morning cup of tea. You know,
with whiskey in it.
Well, you know, cup of tea. Some bloke just having a breakfast. Somebody, like you say, having a double vodka. Somebody who hasn't been to bed. I love it. Pubs. So yeah, back to the. What's his name?
Old
again?
Stinker.
Old Stinker. Isn't that such a British fucking?
Oh yeah. It's not as good as Spring-Heeled Jack.
Yeah.
We've got to do a full episode on him one day.
Definitely.
Over the last few months, there's been something of a folk panic in Yorkshire, Northern England, following reported sightings of an 8-foot werewolf with a human face. The werewolf, Old Stinker, also known as the Beast of Barmston Drain, is not a recent phenomenon. It was reported in the 18th century, but these sightings, concentrated around the town of Hull, are especially intriguing considering that English folklore is rather barren of werewolf stories. Most wolves were extirpated from England under the Anglo-Saxon kings, and so ceased to be an object of dread to the people, although wolves did in fact survive up to the 1500s in the UK. In literature, accounts of lycanthropy, humans transforming into werewolves, can be traced back to the Epic of Gilgamesh in 2100 BC, whereas wolf fables began with Aesop's The Boy Who Cried Wolf, which was written at some point between 620 and 520 BC. Voluntary lycanthropy does appear from time to time. First accounts in 42 to 39 BC, but becoming a werewolf is more commonly seen as a curse or a sign of bestiality, or at worst of cannibalism. So importantly, Old Stinker supposedly inhabits a landscape that is thought to have seen some of the last UK wolves. The emergence of the Hull werewolf can reopen debates about the spectre wolf's relationship to the flesh and blood wolf. This coincides, of course, with the phase of severe environmental damage. Basically, the wolves are fucking dying out, aren't they? So, all of a sudden we got werewolves back. But we went on the Hull werewolf. They were organising a hunt for it, which never happened.
Probably for the best, as it doesn't exist.
Are you saying that the people of Hull can't tell when an 8-foot werewolf with a human face is trotting about?
No.
Eating Alsatians in a ditch?
Well, the people from Hartlepool hanged a fucking monkey because it was a Frenchman.
Yeah, that was in the 1800s.
They've been drinking vodka for
I think
breakfast.
time has changed that much up there, Ben.
It's grim up north.
Yeah.
It's grim everywhere, really, but it's grimmer up north.
Very grim up north.
It is. And you know, they're probably
Especially in Hull.
Yeah, they're probably all drunk as well, because like, you could go to any sort of pub in Hull in the morning and say, you know, like, generations of families have been getting drunk here since about 8:30 this morning. You know, all in there together.
Probably.
And then they probably don't know the difference between a large hairy Polish man, for example.
What, eating a German Shepherd raw?
Yeah, and
If it's got a human face, I'm guessing he's human, not a wolf.
Well, no, he's
Just a
8 foot
hairy-
tall and covered in hair.
It's just a hairy human.
What,
Yeah,
eating
it
a
could
German Shepherd raw in a ditch?
yeah,
Times are hard, Ben.
They cook it first.
it's
Brexit
fucking.
now.
This is Theresa May's Britain, Ben.
What? 8 foot tall,
8 foot-
naked,
Yes.
hairy men are
Naked
eating...
because they can't afford clothes. Eating German Shepherds because they can't afford
What?
food.
And then taking that shepherd in its mouth
yeah,
and vaulting up an 8-foot wall.
steroids.
How can they have steroids and no food?
Why is he taking the shepherd in his
Because he was
mouth?
disturbed. Taking it to finish somewhere
He
else.
fucking sounds disturbed if he's eating a raw dog.
I think he was giving the shepherd a blowjob.
That was a German Shepherd dog, Mike. No,
Yeah,
he's
I
a
know that,
shepherd.
but there's a shepherd there as well.
Took the German Shepherd into his mouth. Yeah, that could be a different type
Yeah, I
of
suppose you
story.
could. Punctuation's very important in that sentence, isn't it?
So I
Do you
got
want me to-
confused.
Eating a German Shepherd.
Yeah, do you want me to write that story as well?
Yeah, no.
You said yes.
I take you in my German mouth.
I promise no more stories.
That's a lie, and you know it.
Oh man, I don't know. I mean, it could be. One of my best friends used to take the piss out of me for. I was a little bit obsessed for a little while with the Big Cat Society in the UK because I know factually.
Oh, go on, I'm coming up.
Big cat sightings, right? Around the time in the 70s, I think, or maybe even earlier, when the law changed, a lot of people who used to have like pumas, things like that, suddenly needed different kind of licensing or something.
Yeah.
So a lot of them were, we know this as a fact, released to the wild. Maybe some survived and fucked each other, and I do think there are a few panthers, maybe not many, but I do think they're out there in the UK. Maybe it could have been that, a really big fucking cat.
There is one from round here. There's been a few sightings round here actually. You heard of them?
Possibly, yeah.
There was one round an old brickworks was abandoned. It was seen a lot round there because there was CCTV about.
I saw that on the Shropshire Star.
And there was one
They had
literally
photos,
just down from my house where there used to be a mountain there isn't now.
Yeah.
And two coppers saw this massive cat spring across the road and go back into the mount.
See, they're about. So that's what I'm saying. It could be if there's a practical reason why people are spotting a big werewolf. Maybe it's a big cat that can stand on its hind legs.
My God, they're learning.
Yeah.
They're evolving. They're copying us.
Yeah. You see, mimicking us.
Soon there's gonna be an army of them come out the woods.
You'll see one wearing a trench coat and like a trilby hat.
There'll be two of them, so I
Sneaking
wonder.
Yeah, sneaking into Tesco's.
Oh.
I want some cigarettes.
Are you a cat? Got any ID, mate?
They're just bolts. They split into two-legged shit. We've been
Forward.
rumbled.
We should do the big cat one next, Mike. It's the Daily Star article. There apparently is a big black panther on the loose in Scotland, police warn.
See, I told you, I didn't know about this.
Residents of two villages are being warned to be vigilant. Police have warned the public to be alert after reports of a black panther on the loose in fields near to the villages of Drunken and Coagulation in Ayrshire. The mysterious beast was spotted at 8:45 AM on Friday morning. A Police Scotland statement said, residents in Drunken and Coalhole are being advised by officers to be vigilant after a report has been received of sighting was believed to be a black panther in the fields. Like it.
Yeah,
They're trying to locate the animal, which may be injured, so don't fucking approach it.
Yeah. It's probably not used to humans, probably not been domesticated, might rip your face off.
Yeah. The SSPCA, which I presume is something like the RSPCA.
The Scottish.
Yeah, the Scottish version.
With more Nazis.
What?
What, the SS?
Yeah, I guess
I
so.
was going to say, you need to clarify that.
Yeah.
It sounds like you just called Scottish people Nazis.
Said the SS, didn't he?
Oh.
Yeah,
More
we're now at the
Nazis.
Scottish Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, I'm guessing.
Yes, I know.
Rather-
Joke, Benjamin.
Rather than the Schutzstaffen version.
It might have been. My goose stepped to
Hey, well, they do prevent cruelty to animals. They've been stood down, they asked them to
They'd
help.
put it down, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they would, these inferior
Eugenics.
genes.
It's like measuring the skulls of all the animals. Checking if they're circumcised. If they are, into the gas chamber.
Oh, man. It's a
The fact
horrifying
it'd be a
thought.
really crap animal rescue, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. It's the exact opposite of the animal rescue, in all fairness.
See, whenever you put Nazis in anything, it always ruins it.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it does. That's just a war film. It tends to make it better.
Does a Nazi
But
ruin a
in real
porno?
life.
Huh?
Does a Nazi ruin a porno?
Depends what porno you're watching, doesn't it?
Well, it's not a snuff porno, it's they're not...
Yeah.
It was a chamber. It's probably just some sucking and fucking, the normal stuff.
Didn't that Max Mosley, that British Daily Mail owner, was getting
Yeah.
whipped by a woman in Nazi uniform, so I'd imagine he's probably searching it.
Yeah.
It's got to be out there.
Yeah, it's got to be a bit of uniform, a bit of fetish.
Nazi bestiality.
Anyway, moving on from my search
Yeah.
history.
Anyway, they've been called out to help, the old Scottish Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, and they've been stood down since they're unequipped to deal with a big cats. We've got a net.
Who is qualified though? Rambo.
Well, the police apparently. I don't know what they're going to achieve.
Shoot it.
Taser it, shoot it,
Handcuff it.
yeah. Read its rights, get a community support officer to sit on it for a couple of hours.
You're gonna get a night in the cell, wee chappie. Think about what you've done. Playing away cigarettes, disgusting.
So let's go to the Daily Star one, Mike. Can get rid of that.
Good old Daily Star, our
Yeah.
trusted companions.
It's a slightly old article, but there was a phase of this going around, and I thought it was worth another look.
Okay.
Black-eyed kids, ghosts, or just general creepy children with black contact lenses.
Oh,
You
fuck.
decide. Frightened residents are packing up and moving homes after it has emerged the ghost of the terrifying black-eyed child was spotted for the second time in the UK. So people are moving house!
Oh, for fuck's sake.
The chilling tale emerged earlier this week when a woman revealed her encounter with the ghost of the spooky whereabouts of Cannock Chase again.
That's
Cannock
just
Chase.
up the road.
It's not the first one we've had in Cannock Chase.
No, it's not.
But now a second frightened local has told us he also laid eyes on a spine-tingling little girl. Ghost expert
Oh, for fuck's sake, how can such a thing exist?
Lee Brickley, who was contacted by the first woman, was approached by the second witness after the first sighting hit the headline. Just scroll down for me, please.
Yep.
The man told Lee, after reading reports in the media today, I felt the need to get in touch with you about my own experiences on Cannock Chase. Also maybe a chance for a quick book.
Yeah.
I believe I've seen the black-eyed child on more than one occasion over the last 12 months.
Do you know?
The man explained how he often walks his dog in the haunted countryside area of Cannock Chase. Yet during one of his usual late-night walks / wank in the woods, he revealed how he came face-to-face with the jet black-eyed, creepy spectre. He said, I was following my usual route when I started to hear something rustling in the bushes. Presuming it was a squirrel or something similar, I carried on walking for another 10 minutes. However, the noise seemed to follow me. After walking down a small path with trees either side, the noise started to come from a different direction, seemed directly behind me. To my amazement, standing behind me was a small child, no older than 10, with her hands raised over her eyes. The man explained that his dog started barking frantically as he asked the little girl if she was okay, but the child didn't respond. Despite feeling a little disturbed, he carried on walking. Suddenly the child appeared again in front of me, this time with her hands down at her sides. I almost fell over when I noticed her eyes were jet black. Again, my dog went mental, this time pulling me in the opposite direction, and in the blink of an eye, the child was gone. Yeah.
Well,
So he didn't come out until he's in the news coverage, though.
either he's full of shit or there's a kid playing a joke.
Yeah, black contact lenses.
Because that'd be a pretty freaky, horrible thing to do to somebody, wouldn't it?
There's been reports of these where they're like knocking on the door late at night, usually 2 of them, and they're like, we need to use your phone, let us in.
Just trying to freak people out, I think.
Yeah,
Remember
it
the
seems to be a
creepy
common thing we need. Yeah.
It could be that type of thing.
It could be.
Or it could be this guy's absolutely full of poopy poop.
Yeah.
And like you said, after a bit of attention, and we all know, as from my personal experience, you tell the newspaper something about a ghost or whatever, they will contact you to get your story.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know if we've ever told the...
No, we didn't tell the
listener.
listener about it.
I emailed the journalist and told them that the ghost of Winston Churchill gave me some advice. I followed that advice, and now I'm unemployed. And I had interest. I had people ringing me to get the full story, but I bottled out and didn't talk to them in the end. But they wanted the story.
Yeah.
So they will print any old shit. So this guy, you know, he's probably doing exactly the same thing. I'm just distracted at why there's like at the story. We're looking at this, listener, on the computer screen, and the recommended stories underneath. Why is it all hot chicks? Like,
Yeah, world's hottest crap and teases fans as she posted nothing but a towel. Real life Barbie forks out £17,000 on jaw-dropping plastic surgery transformation. Yeah.
It shows you what people want to click on, doesn't it?
Yes.
Oh,
You ever heard of the Glasgow necropolis?
I haven't.
I've heard of the Judge Dredd storyline, Necropolis, but no, not
No.
the Glaswegian one.
Basically, the Glasgow necropolis is this sprawling cemetery. And it goes back to 1832, but before, in 18, actually, when we were in the Victorian times, Glasgow was quite poverty-stricken. You've just got thousands of people going to move into that place because a lot of it's undercover as well. So you've got this weird life and death cycle going on all around you.
Yeah, and the life expectancy up there has always been a bit short.
Yeah, well, imagine what it was like in like
Well, that's what I mean.
1870 something when you're literally living in a necropolis. You know, you're the poorest of the poor living in there, and there's thousands of them crammed into it.
Wow. And you got to bury them people somewhere, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's loads of ghost sightings around it. surrounding it, lots. But the it's just scroll down. There's legends of ghosts and vampires that roam the 37 acres and made of the spooky cemetery and commonly told by locals. There's one from the 50s, and it's the Gorbals Vampire.
Oh, I bet it's the Gorbals.
It's been described as being 7 feet tall, monstrous, and containing a mouthful of razor-sharp iron teeth. After 2 young local children were supposedly murdered by the Gorbals Vampire, this story reached its climax, and it's said that following this event, one night in 1954, hundreds of school-aged children descended upon the Glasgow necropolis. They came armed with weapons and ready to fight and kill the vampire they believed dwelled within Glasgow's most famed cemetery. And this is true. I read a BBC report about this.
They were convinced.
Yeah, they were. And you know, the thing is with this, the tragedy of it is that this was inspired basically by horror comics coming over from America in the 50s. And they said it was stimulating the kids' imaginations to the point where they genuinely thought these 2 kids had been killed and eaten by this vampire.
Fucking hell. Reading too many comics and drinking too much iron brew. Getting overexcited.
Yeah.
Bless him.
Yeah, I just thought it was a cool story.
Yeah, man. It's pretty cool that they were literally that convinced they tooled up.
Yeah.
Hundreds of them tooled up and went down expecting to just... If it's a fucking demon, we'll just twat it on the fucking head, man.
It's in Glasgow.
I'll glass the prick.
They're all hard in Glasgow.
Stitch that, you wee ghosty. Fucking stab it.
This fucking carving fuck ye into a vampire's forehead with a bit of broken nail.
Yeah, I wouldn't fuck with a gang of kids from Glasgow.
No.
Ever.
Then that vampire chose the wrong turf, that's what I'm thinking.
You'd be like, fuck this, I'm not haunting this place. I'm going down south. Where they don't fight back. I'm going to go and haunt some sort of rich people, some soft people.
Yeah. They're fleshy and full of their blood is rich.
Yeah. They don't glass me by the gang load.
Yeah, the necropolis itself, you know, just imagine the horrific conditions of living in that in the 1870s.
Living in any city at that time was probably a bit dirty and horrific.
Yeah.
I was listening to something today that actually said that the reason pubs are so ingrained in our culture and have been around for like since the 1800s and lasted is that you didn't just turn the water on at home.
No.
There wasn't running water for the vast majority of poor people, so the pub and beer were the only things you could really lubricate yourself with, basically.
You'd have pumps in the street, but remember...
My point is, it's not like...
Everyone gets cholera from
That's how they figured out what cholera was, wasn't it? They basically went, oh right, everyone in this area has got cholera, so it's got to be that pump. But how come it's only the women and children that are affected? None of the men are affected. Turns out the men all worked at the local brewery and were given beer as part of their wages, so they'd all be sat at home drinking beer. And beer wasn't that strong back then, the small beer. You know, it's only up to 2%, something like that. You can sit there and drink that shit all day.
Children drank it as well, didn't they?
But the men would just drink the beer exclusively. The women and kids were drinking the water, getting the cholera.
Yeah. Oh, it's making me want a beer, man. I love beer. And I love pubs. It's sad that...
well, pubs have been around since time fucking began.
Yeah, it was like 12. It was a really interesting podcast. It was about pub names, but I got a lot of little info from it. Like the first pub name, they were called Hell, the first recorded one. Can't remember why. Oh, and an interesting fact, the cock always referred to, not the animal, but the cock on the barrel.
Yeah.
But it's a pun to show a picture of a cock.
Yeah.
But it meant the tap.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But then they just started punning, and yeah, they've always been fun. Most of them were coaching ins. Anyway, that's a massive
I love it when you're
tangent.
driving into Wellington and you see the big sign that says the cock. Which made me chuckle.
They'll probably they'll campaign and get the name changed soon.
The reason why so many pubs are named after generals and admirals and things like that as well is because a lot of soldiers would leave the army and with their severance pay would buy a pub.
Yeah, oh, awesome.
And they would usually name it after the guy they served under.
Excellent.
Oh, I don't know many pubs.
Oh, he's always a Duke of Wellington or a Lord Hill or something like that, isn't there? It's the Marquess of Gransby's quite a famous pub name. There's quite a few of them.
My favourite pub name ever is the Piston Broke.
Nice.
Hey.
Oh, well, there's a bar in in LA that looks like the cantina from Star Wars, and it's called Scum and Villainy.
Ah, we said about that last week,
didn't
yeah.
we? Yeah, I'd like to go there.
It's like the all labour in vain.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
That's only down there, isn't it? Somewhere.
It was, it's gone now.
It's gone now.
Oh,
It's literally been demolished.
fuck. Shows you how much attention I pay.
Yeah,
They
well,
knocked it down. Why? What have they built in its
going to
place?
build houses on it.
Fuck. All labour in vain.
Yeah. Can we call it a quick piss break?
We certainly can.
So we are back. So we all know that London is one of the most one of the oldest cities in the world and one of the most haunted.
Allegedly.
Allegedly haunted.
Yeah.
Let's say allegedly. As we'll point out again, none of us actually believe in ghosts. But you know,
Ever see one?
yeah, if I ever see
I
one.
don't rule them out. I just
Yeah.
no evidence, therefore I can't back it.
Yeah, that's it. So everyone's got a ghost in London virtually. So from Queens of England, Anne Boleyn was only married to Henry VIII for 3 years, but remains one of England's best-known queens. Apparently had an extra tit.
What?
Apparently so, yeah. And an extra finger. Polydactymy it's called.
Didn't you just say tit though?
Yeah, she did have, apparently
Right.
had an extra tit, yeah.
An extra tit and an extra finger.
Yeah, if he hadn't been able to,
Was she an X-Men?
if he couldn't have divorced her, he was going to use her deformities, in quotations, he seemed to like the extra tit and told them, it's inconvenient, to have her tried as a witch.
Was she from
Oh, no.
Mars?
Maybe. Is it all just a really inbred English aristocratic family?
There you go. The other week you were saying that you like the look of the three-titted
I had nothing against that
supermodel.
3-titted supermodel.
So all you've got to do is get somebody inbred as fuck, and you can actually get it.
Yeah, but I'm not inbred enough to join the aristocracy.
Well, fair enough.
I'm sure there's a 3-titted lady at there for you somewhere. Man.
Maybe.
Make sure she doesn't ask you to paint her white head to toe and then
No.
face it on you till
No.
you pass out.
Yeah. So since being beheaded at the Tower of London after trumped up charges of adultery, she's become the most famous of the Tower's various ghosts, and has often been seen, sometimes with her head and sometimes without.
I'm sorry, but if she hasn't got a head, how do they know it's her?
Well, that's a
The
good point.
extra tit, mate.
All the extra finger. She wasn't beheaded topless. On Tower Green, which was the site of her execution. That is actually just a little square of grass in the middle of the inner keep of the Tower of London. You ever been there and you're in London? Genuinely go to it. It's a fucking really interesting tour.
Okay.
Anne's cousin, Catherine Howard, shared the same fate. Her ghost is reported to be seen and her screams heard in Hampton Court, where she briefly escaped from the guards who came to arrest her and ran down the corridor to plead with Henry, who was attending Mass in the chapel.
Oh dear.
Another victim of Henry's who appears at the Tower from time to time is Margaret Pole, Countess of Salisbury, who is said to reenact her own execution. One of the last surviving members of the Plantagenet dynasty, who probably had a better claim to the throne, well, did have a better claim to the throne than Henry. She went to the block in 1541, but apparently tried to escape, running around Tower Green several times before the executioner caught her and cut her head off.
Fuck.
Over in Bethnal Green, the ghost of Edmund Bonner, the Bishop of London, who gained the nickname Bloody Bonner for his persecution of Protestants under Mary I, has allegedly been seen. He used to own property there. Bonner Road and Bonner Street are named after him. The ghost of Courtier,
Courtier, I suppose, I don't know.
explorer and writer, an all-round tight-wearing chap, Sir Walter Raleigh, was spotted in the Tower where he was imprisoned for 13 years. As well as various sightings in his native Devon, Sir Walter's restless spirit has also haunted Beddington in South London, where he owned land. Legend has it that his wife arranged to have his body secretly buried in the church there, although the historical record states he was buried at St Margaret's in Westminster after his execution in 1681. So we go from the very wealthy to the very poor. Murder victims. Several of London's many murder victims are said to haunt the places where they were killed. That's, I think, by the Jack the Ripper Museum.
Well, if that were
That
true,
photo
imagine
there.
if every single person that were ever murdered in London, if their ghost was out there, it would just be
Oh, you'd
seething with.
be swarming with them.
Yeah, you'd just you'd be able to fucking walk a few paces without bumping into a spectre.
Yeah.
Spectre. How do you
A
say
spook, spectre, or ghost.
Yeah, there you go. We're ready to believe you.
Or a class 5 free floating phantasm, free roaming phantasm. Sorry.
Or a fat woman who rapes you.
Yeah. Yeah, the less I read that, the better.
Sorry about that. I knew you were going to judge me.
I was going to wank for a week now.
You wanted a horror story, I gave you one.
Horror is right.
I think my balls have shrunk back up inside.
Yeah, Mike's become a woman now.
I'm a eunuch now.
It's erotic.
For you. Wearing your Ghostbusters outfit.
Yeah, well, yeah, I can't say.
Seems strange that he's the one in the Ghostbusters outfit, yet the Ghostbuster was the one having the proton pack. Oh my god, it's all coming together!
Wait till you see what's in my bag.
We know what you're doing when you get home.
Well, you know, what the owner puts in my bottom is our business.
Hey, anything can be a penis but fits inside you.
Back to the ghost fucking stories.
Including 2 of the prostitutes killed by Jack the Ripper, the ghost of Annie Chapman has been spotted on Hanbury Street, where she died, while visitors to Mitre Square have occasionally seen a spectre believed to be Catherine Eddowes, and we will get through Jack the Ripper at some point.
Just fucking guessing, aren't they? I don't know who she is.
Could be fucking anyone, couldn't it?
Yeah.
It's not like she's got 3 tits, so she's easily identifiable.
Just see a ghost, just hang on a bit, I'm ripping a dress. Not 3 tits, so you're not.
Hashtag fucking ghosts' rights, me too. You can't just rip my blouse open. Well, how else am I supposed to tell you the fuck you
You
are?
can't get an 18th century ghost, prostitute ghost to have a Twitter account. It's only a phone.
Hey, if they could do pottery like in that movie. No, it's the fucking, I don't know. Ghosts aren't real.
No. Well, a less well-known tale is that a 13-year-old girl called Anne Naylor, also known as a Screaming Spectre, whose cries have been heard in and around Farrington Station. An orphan who was apprenticed to a hat maker called Sarah Metchard in the mid-18th century, she was poorly treated and died after being tied standing to an attic door and not fed for 4 days. To conceal her death, Metchard and her daughter hid Anne's body in a trunk, later dismembering it and trying to get rid of it, first by burning it and then throwing the remains in an open sewer.
Oh, it warms the heart, doesn't it?
Hey, it's history, man.
Oh, what a town.
Want to scroll down a bit for me?
Oh, nation's capital.
You want to hear some thespians?
I love a good thespian name. You know that.
London's theatres have plenty of tales with actors sticking around for an encore after life's final curtain call.
Fucking attention-seeking pricks.
Like every single fucking actor then.
Still like the ghost of Charlie Chaplin doing his shtick.
No one can see him, there's a bitter irony.
You'd love it, wouldn't you? I wouldn't mind that. Oh dear.
A couple of these haunt more than one place, such as the Regency actor and clown Joseph Grimaldi. His ghost has been seen in both the Sadler's Wells Theatre in Clerkenwell and the Theatre Royale on Drury Lane.
Fucking eyes on his...
As a tour?
He's on a fucking ghosty pub crawl.
The latter's best known ghost, though, is the anonymous Man in Grey, which unusually for a ghost has been known to appear during the daytime. Or it was just a bloke in a grey suit.
Well, people are tripping or drunk.
Yeah, then there's a Victorian actor, William Ferris, who haunts the Adelphi Theatre on the Strand and Covent Garden tube station. He was murdered at the former in 1897 by another actor, Richard Arthur Prince. Prince had fallen on hard times after his drinking had rendered him unemployable. Terrace took pity on him and gave him money, but Prince had wanted more. When Terrace refused, Prince attacked him with a knife just inside the Adelphi, and Terrace was carried into the theatre where he died, and where his ghost has sometimes been seen. His occasional appearances at the tube station can be explained by the fact it was built on the site of his favourite baker's shop where he often took his children.
Can you imagine if, like, I mean, heaven forbid, I don't want it to happen anytime soon, but imagine when, like, Jean-Claude Van Damme dies. Do you think, like, his ghost will come back? Chuck Norris. Do you know what I mean? Like,
What, start haunting the ghosts of their sets?
yeah, we'll just see him, like, do push-ups or something somewhere, like, you know, the splits.
Van Damme will be stuck in an everlasting loop of Street Fighter.
Do your impression, go on.
Which one?
I can't remember what's the line that he says with his ridiculous accent.
Oh, Oh, cack, what is it?
I can't remember.
He just turns up on that tank, knocks his way through the wall, and he says something really shit.
Oh,
Yeah,
classic.
you are all under arrest.
That's it.
Did you even learn English in this film?
Well, yeah, you know what I mean? If these ghosts, if these actors, what I'm saying is, how
Well,
does
they
the
make a
ghost
tragic
world work?
end.
Who decides who gets to come back? And because I wouldn't mind, it's a bit like Force Ghosts, you know, I wouldn't mind the cool ones coming
Yeah,
back.
you don't want Joe Pasquale back.
Yeah, no, you don't. And I'd watch a film starring the ghost of Dolph Lundgren. You know what I mean? Steven Seagal and the ghost of Dolph Lundgren in Ghost Fireball.
It's a valid point.
Yeah, you know, I don't know.
You sold me. Let's write it. We'll just say Dolph Lundgren's dead. He looks it.
We got to kill Dolph Lundgren.
No, he looks dead. We'll just white him up.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know.
What else we got?
Sorry.
Just skim down the next one,
That's
Mike.
my professional journalistic
Skip down it.
opinion. Oh, I don't know. Cool stories though.
Criminals.
Bum 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 bum.
Yeah. Any talk of ghostly criminals in London must begin with the highwayman Dick Turpin, who is reputed to haunt the Spaniards Inn on the northern edge of Hampstead Heath. It has been claimed he was born there, but that's not the case. He was actually from Hampstead in Essex. Turpin, whose horse Black Bess is said to haunt the car park at the Spaniards, has also been seen in Epping Forest and in the graveyard of St Mary's Church in Wanstead. A ghostly figure in 18th century clothes spotted on the roof of the Old Bailey is believed to be Jack Shepherd, a thief who became famous for his numerous escapes from prison before he was hanged at Tyburn. The Old Bailey stands on the site of Newgate Prison from which Shepherd escaped twice. I'd love that, seeing some bloke in old-timey clothing, like, swinging around the Statue of Justice going, ha-ha!
But he's a ghost.
Yeah, it'd be fun, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't you just be like, fuck me?
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, what's I got? I just think it's a performance piece or something.
Oh, you'd be like, Gaz, have you got your costume? And does that inflatable proton pack do anything? I could throw it at him.
That'll do. Launch it.
Yes, sir.
That was a throw like a girl.
Hey, don't be sexist. Don't assume that I'm not a girl.
Oh, you've got that long hair now.
I've told you that other van drivers have started perving on me and then double taking and realising I'm a man as they get closer.
You should get a padded bra just to freak them out. You're in a trans van after all.
Take that hormone and start
Squirt milk at him. So I get beaten up by a gang of builders at the traffic lights because I squirted milk at them.
or gang raped. It's gotta be one of the two.
God, you two
Now it's gone.
you two have been really rapey this episode.
Okay, should we go on to the
Yeah.
quiz?
Let's go to the quiz then. Mike's got a Halloween quiz for us, so
Well, it is Halloween.
Yeah.
it's the Spectrophilia Spooktacular.
Your favourite word.
Spooktacular. Not spectrophilia, that's not my favourite word. Anyone who doesn't know, spectrophilia is the word for having sex with ghosts. We've had a few of them in our weird news specials.
Yeah, and Ray, it is implied that Raymond Stantz got a blowjob from a ghost
It
in
is,
the first one, isn't it? Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna read a statement about a celebrity. You have to tell me if it's true or false.
Okay.
Okay, first up, Lucy Liu was brought to climax after a ghostly shag on her futon.
True.
Who the fuck's Lucy Liu?
Oh, she was in Charlie's Angels films. That.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Chinese one.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know. No.
I'm going true.
You're going true, you're going false?
Yeah.
It's true.
Yay! Their career's pretty washed up.
Okay, number two. A ghost would have sex with Anna Nicole Smith while her boyfriend lay next to her in bed.
Yep.
No, that old man was old, but he wasn't dead.
I think the ghost is shagging it because the old man couldn't manage. I'm going true.
Oh, go on then. I can't fault your logic. It's true.
It is true.
I seem to remember her saying something about that from a while back as well. I don't know, there's a weird news article or something I read, but yeah.
When I was very young, I did quite like Anna Nicole Smith.
Well, everyone had a bit of a thing for Anne Nicole
Yeah.
Smith in their early teens. It was... We were of that generation where plastic tits were like a new thing. In
Good
a
job
way.
she didn't have 3 tits in it.
Oh, fuck me, she'd fallen over.
Like Pammy, you know, Pammy was like a goddess back then.
She certainly was.
Yasmin bleat every time.
I don't anyone would do.
13-year-old me wouldn't have cared.
She was also in What was that lifeguard thing?
Baywatch.
That's it.
That thing what Pammy was in.
That's the one.
Classic. Right, what's the next question?
Okay, next
mate?
one. Dan Aykroyd engaged in light foreplay with an entity before spooning it.
True.
Ben's going true.
Yeah, he's always on about that shit.
Yeah, he
It
loves
is
that.
true.
Are all of these true?
No, true or false. Number 4. Peter Schmeichel received a reach around from a ghoul in a French hotel.
I'm going false.
I just breathed in my own air. What the fuck?
Isn't that creepy? You mentioned Peter Schmeichel earlier.
I said he was one of my favourite players growing up.
I'm going to false that one.
We're on air, but
That's got to be false.
it is false. Oh, we don't know.
Yeah, Peter wouldn't let him go. Right?
No, he just fucking
He'd
elbowed
smack
me in the
it
face, yeah.
bro. Fuck off.
Okay, number 5. Mary Berry received a phantom bukkake in a Thai prison.
What was Mary Berry doing in a tight prison?
I'm also going false with this one.
How do you know ghosts are spaffing on you? Is that what ectoplasm really is?
Must be.
False, Mike.
False.
Yeah, false.
It is false. Number 6. Kesha proclaims she went to the bone zone with the spectre and claims her vagina is haunted.
Oh,
Who's
my
Kesha?
fuck. A singer, I think, isn't
Mhm.
she? I'll go false.
I'm going true, fuck it.
It is true.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Vagina's haunted.
Number 7. Katie Price was once chipmunked by a poltergeist.
Well, in all fairness, it is Katie Price.
Yes.
But at the same time, the thing is, I like to think that the chipmunk thing is Mike throwing it in, but at the same time, this is Katie Price we're talking about, and she'll say anything for money.
There you go.
True.
I'm going to say false, but my heart thinks it's true, but I think the word chipmunk gives you away, sir.
I'm gonna go true.
It's false.
Oh.
Next one. Liam Neeson received a ghostly gob job whilst watching his own premiere for Schindler's List.
That's dark, man. How can you get a boner while you're watching a film about the Holocaust?
I don't know, Mike. How can you get a boner while watching a film on the Holocaust?
That ghost must have skills, man.
You know, I got here like earlier on, guys, about 5 o'clock, and Mike goes, oh, do you know what I watched last night? I'm like, no. What was it?
Try for the World.
Trying to watch a Nazi propaganda film. He spent his night watching Nazi propaganda films. His Saturday night. And he wants to be a Jedi.
Yeah, research.
And then now he's on about getting a cob job watching Schindler's List.
Hey, it might be true.
It's not true though. It's false.
And if, right, let's say the ghost you got is see-through, right? Everyone would still be able to see Liam Neeson's boner. He'd be sitting there at the premiere with his dick sticking out of his tuxedo, with a raging boner.
And he's still, because the ghost is see-through, he's still watching the people getting shot and keeping an erection.
Everyone's like, well, it's his premiere. Let him do what he wants. He's rich and famous. I think that was false.
It is false. Okay, Michael Barrymore was bumped.
Michael Barrymore was bummed by a shadow demon.
What?
In the middle of a Tesco's in Bognor Regis. False?
Is that what happened to the bloke in the pool?
You know what, it's a real shame though, because Michael Barrymore was a damn good primetime TV show
I
host.
loved him when I was growing
So
up.
did I.
And then it all went to shit.
It literally went face down in a pool for him.
Oh, God. He was a national treasure.
He
for
was.
years.
He was.
The whole family gathered round.
Yeah. Strike it lucky.
Yeah, top, middle and bottom, strike it lucky. Oh, bless him.
Was he bummed by a shadow demon in the middle of Tesco's in Bognor Regis?
I doubt it very much.
But he is an alcoholic, I'm going true. Or he was an alcoholic, allegedly.
Oh, it's
I'm sorry,
false,
Mike.
sadly.
I'd love to see him come back.
I'd love, yeah, me. I'd love to see him come
He's
back.
done his time.
Yeah.
Dale Winton's dead.
Yeah.
There's a space now.
We want him back. We want Barrymore.
Bring back Barrymore.
Yeah.
Hashtag bring back Barrymore.
Do you remember when I used to have that big pictures like thing of Michael Barrymore? I say from my quick save times.
Yeah. Mike used to work at Quick Save when he was a teenager. And Michael Barrymore was the Quick Save sort of face of Quick Save.
Right.
And there was a 6-foot cardboard cutout of Michael Barrymore that Mike liberated from the shop and put in his room for ages. Didn't get laid much in that phase, did you? Michael Barrymore watching you on the job.
What?
I don't think I had him in plain view. I think he was behind the bed or something.
That's even worse. Imagine if your missus or someone you pulled, she came back and it fell out from behind a wardrobe. Fucking out!
I liked it before he was getting one.
I don't think before the dead bummed man.
I don't think any of that happened at this point. He was a face of Quick Save, of course it hadn't.
Of course it hadn't. Oh dear.
Poor lad. Ah well.
Hashtag bring back Barrymore.
Yeah, I'll drink to that.
Okay.
What's next?
Next one. Billy Corgan boned a shapeshifter.
Ah, well, that depends.
We know that,
yeah, well,
to be
we
true.
don't know whether it's true or not, though, do we? He wouldn't answer.
He implied
Howard
it,
Stern
didn't he?
asked him. He was implied, so is that,
It's kind of true then.
kind of true? All
Yeah,
right,
I'm
yeah,
gonna go true.
yeah.
Yeah. Bobby Brown was raped by a spook in Georgia.
Bobby Brown,
Yeah.
as in Whitney Houston's.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, fuck that.
Yeah. This is how we do it. Is that one of his songs? I don't know.
Yeah,
Could have been.
I'll go with true.
Yeah,
It is
fuck
true.
I'm on 100% of the
no.
fucking minute.
There's two more.
Right? Can I keep my 100%?
Oh, you're
Bob
100%.
I am 100%. You know, you got one wrong.
Yeah, I'm sure you've got one wrong.
No,
as
I
well.
haven't. I'm bang on. I'm
Trust you to actually be keeping score.
Of course, nothing's more important than winning.
Okay, next
You
one.
ain't first, you're last.
Okay, what's next?
Bob Geldof and Bono had a threesome with a ghostly Somalian pirate on Elton John's yacht.
Oh, part of me wants to say this is true.
Bono boned a Somalian pirate.
Was Elton John there, or was it just they were borrowing his yacht?
He was in the corner watching.
Or was he sailing?
Backing off.
Well, I'm going to go false.
I'm gonna go true.
It's false.
Well.
Okay, last one.
Well, I've already won this, so this doesn't matter.
Yeah.
According to his diaries, Adolf Hitler was fingered by a ghoul in an Austro-Hungarian trench during World War One.
True. True.
True. That's why he wrote Mein Kampf.
Yeah, that's why he's so angry. Was it an Austro-Hungarian Jew?
It is true. Nah, it's false.
Was it an Austro-Hungarian Jew? Because that would explain a lot. Maybe it is true.
Ben wins then.
Yay!
Well, what does it? The answer of the quiz? Does it mean that Ben's more likely to fuck a ghost than me?
Quite possibly. Who knows?
Yay!
Well, that was fun.
Very good. Liked it.
Thank you.
So, what are we going to finish off with, boys?
Bit of weird news.
Yeah. Here's some robot baiting for you guys.
Oh.
This is apologise to the listeners. You
Is
can
it a
find
video?
this. It's a video, but it's only 1 minute and 14. There isn't any audio to it. We'll describe what's happening.
Oh, that's right then. I was gonna move the mic.
It is a bit tragic, but you can find this. It's called Humanoid Robot Can Help You Build Your House, and it's from In the Know Innovation. So the robot's picking up some plywood, turning it round. They've given him a screwdriver and a nail gun.
You know? He's actually a humanoid robot. He's now moving shit about.
Yeah, he's putting stuff in place. He's nail gunning it in.
Fuck. Hell. You can install a drywall by yourself.
It can cut to fit. It's got fucking buzzsaws built into its wrists. It can lift boards. Fasten them with a screwdriver.
I could do that.
And it's called the HRP-5P, and it's designed to replace human labour
What a cunt.
in dangerous workplaces.
Oh, fair enough. I take it back. Well,
Uses a complex set of sensors to complete tasks with efficiency. Now it's literally got buzzsaws built into its fucking wrists.
That is insane.
Cutting that drywall.
Well,
It's a Japanese company, and it's going to help all human labourers and then kill them brutally.
Look at this.
It would be hard to fight, but it can't think for itself though, that's the key. It can only do those tasks.
Until it becomes self-aware.
Yeah, but we're a long way away.
And it's got his fucking nail gun in one hand, screwdriver and buzzsaws built into its wrists.
I admit it
And it's
would be
picking you
hard.
up and buzzsawing your face
It
off.
would be hard to fight it, but I think it'd be easy to knock it over. It was very top heavy, didn't look that stable, and you could kick it over. But I'm impressed, yeah, I am impressed, but I'm not going to worry about it, and I'm not a builder. I'd be pissed off if I was a builder. Like, why are you trying to replace me? You couldn't build one to do something else. Build one that, I don't know.
Well, hopefully it'll replace all those slaves that are building the World Cup for Qatar.
Well,
Probably not, to be fair, because slave labour is really cheap and robots are expensive.
true.
Long term, they're not.
No, but, you know, it's still really cheap at the moment for
It's
slave
more
labour.
expensive than slaves.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Slaves are cheap.
Yeah, slaves are really cheap.
Yeah.
As you said earlier, Mike, slave labour is more human trafficking than ever.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's because there are more people, I suppose, but... Yeah.
Yeah. So what we got next? A floating cloud? Oh no, that was kind of cool though.
A floating cloud? I mean, more about a non-floating cloud.
Yeah, but it hovers in your room and does shit.
Oh.
A man who thinks streetlights cause cancer called Gateshead councillors baby killers.
God.
Mark Steele has accused Gateshead Council, it's a UK one, boys, of installing 5G transmitters that are harmful to humans. There's a thing with this 5G.
Yeah, people are concerned about it, but I'm not sure what the story is, to be honest.
2 councillors were branded baby killers by a man convinced Gateshead Council streetlights cause cancer. 5G activist Mark Steele unleashed an intimidating tirade against the politicians as they canvassed voters. He believes Labour's Catherine Donovan and Eileen McMaster had turned up to goad him into getting arrested. He then called them murderers, a court heard, claiming it was his right to do so. But a judge ruled his outburst went too far as she handed him a criminal record.
Oh.
It's the latest chapter in the saga between Gateshead Council and Steele. The 57-year-old believes the council is secretly trialling the technology in streetlights. Gateshead Magistrates Court heard claims it may have been linked to a child's death. The council says the allegations are entirely false, accusing certain individuals of frightening people. Earlier this month, Steele successfully blocked a council gagging order to prevent him posting his beliefs online. However, he was ordered not to harass council staff, and now he's landed a criminal record over the April 30th drama outside his home in Percy Gardens, Dunstan.
Well. I'm not sure I know anything about 5G. Why would it be more dangerous than 4G?
Good point.
Apparently it causes cancer.
According to who?
According to some people, including this chap. I've
Where's
heard
the
this
scientific
spouted.
evidence?
Well, I've heard this spouted in several conspiracy groups. I've never, because at the end of the day, I'm thinking, everything's giving me cancer. At least I can get faster internet.
Well, you're right if it is giving us cancer.
So yeah,
Fuck. It's a good way for them to give it us and then sell us the drugs to keep us alive, or just kill off population because they do need to cull us. We know that some of the elites believe that. We've read a lot of quotes about them.
we need to look at the Georgia Guidestones at some point.
Yeah, we will cover that. So this guy, I'm not sure where he gets his evidence from or why he believes it, but he obviously does.
I think a lot of
believe it.
YouTube videos made by people in their basement
Yeah, that's
is probably what I'm going with.
That's a good shout.
Okay, one more.
Yeah. Halloween event. See, Halloween.
Hey, see what you did there.
Scream Mania branded an absolute shambles by angry parents. Organisers promised to transform Reddish Vale into Spooky Vale with live actors, mazes and more. But visitors said they could have done something better in their own back garden. And some of the pictures here are fantastic. There's a gazebo with a plastic cauldron
That is fucking shit.
with some bin bags that push on a fence.
Terrifying.
Parents say a Halloween event, which promises the biggest in the Greater Manchester or Personchester,
Yeah.
was an absolute shambles. And families who attended the opening day on Saturday say the event was a disaster and not the sort of shocking experience they'd hoped for. And in this other picture, Again, there's just some bin bags and some rubbish and a broom. A spooky broom.
Oh, fuck.
Is issuing refunds to people who went along on Saturday and to anyone who has bought tickets but no longer wants to go. Dan Rees paid almost £46 for tickets. His girlfriend Becky, their 7-year-old son Buddy, and his school friend Bo.
Fuck's sake.
Who calls their son Buddy?
Bo, what's the world coming to? Fuck. I'm so old.
Yeah. Well, there's another picture of what it's supposed to be, you know. There's a scarecrow pumpkin-headed thing with a sign saying "Turn back." That's the... Oh my god, that just looks shit.
It's just a field full of gazebos with literally nothing there but rubbish.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
46 quid, Mike. Dan said there was an inflatable maze which lasted around 2 minutes before deflating, and said even a woman hired there to be a witch was apologising. The 32-year-old said that we stayed there for an hour, but there wasn't really much to do. They managed a couple of goes on the go-karts. The Zorbs outside weren't in operation and were left dumped by the Portaloos. Zorbs are them things you stick in big inflatable balls you put yourself in and roll around. My son was just really bored. There were 2 ladies making slime. He did that for 10 minutes, then stood around while we talked to the outside caterers at the whole thing, and they couldn't believe the state the place was in. I felt sorry for the young lady who was hard as a witch. She was very apologetic for the shambles.
That tent's just got a ladder in it.
Fucking hell.
There's just a ladder and some...
Don't walk on the ladder, give you bad luck.
Well, that's very scary. Dan said the whole thing reminded him of a failed apprentice task. As a number of people were asking for refunds either at the front desk or on the phone to Skiddle, who arranged it. He's now awaiting his own refund.
Well, oh fuck.
Well, there we go. That looks shit.
Yeah, big cobweb, fake cobweb. It's just.
Well, the cobweb's what they promised.
Oh wow, wow. Yeah, fucking people on the rob, obviously trying to con people out of some money, and it worked.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, fucking. Right, good stuff. Well,
Right.
happy Halloween. I
Happy
suppose.
Halloween.
Yeah.
Should finish on some fucked up facts.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna give some fucked up facts.
In a second.
Intermission. Intermission.
Do you want to read you the story again, by the way?
No, you're alright. No, you're okay.
Well. What can I say? I'm still shocked Mike called my manifesto god-awful.
Well,
Oh, you meant because it's just so depressing.
Oh, yeah.
it was very depressing.
Yeah, but
You weren't telling people they were shit.
that's why it's funny.
You must still not do that, it's funny.
Because it's so dark, you know, just telling people they're meaningless, proving it scientifically.
Okay, a bit of a Halloween fact. In Canada, it is illegal to pretend to be a witch. Well, actually being a witch, however, is perfectly legal.
Yeah. That's an odd one.
Okay. Sorry, eh?
Tyromancy is the act of predicting the future by observing the coagulation of cheese.
Wow.
Coagulation.
Wow.
is a
So
weird
does that
word.
mean that you're melting the cheese and then watching it dry? Watching it harden again?
Yes, I imagine so.
So you-
Coagulation's coming
You melt a
together.
load of cheese in the microwave, pour it onto a plate, and then go, ooh.
Like reading
Ooh.
tea leaves.
Looks like Blackburn are going to win the FA Cup this year.
Well, we know that's not going to happen. You've just proved it's bollocks.
Hey, the cheese says so, Gaz.
The day recreational marijuana was legalised in Canada, a 9-year-old girl in Edmonton sold all her Girl Scout cookies in 45 minutes outside a newly opened weed shop.
Oh, cracking planning.
Yeah, absolute class business acumen. That lady's going to go far in life.
She will.
And you'll like this one, Gaz.
Okay.
We're sorry about this. In 2017, new word names given to American newborn boys included Diesel,
Fuck, mate.
Thunder,
Fuck off.
Almighty,
Oh.
Chaos,
Nice.
Oh.
Trigger,
Oh, I'm triggered.
Danger, Power, and Rage.
Wow.
New word names for girls included allure,
Oh.
paradise,
Ah.
pristine, happiness,
Oh.
heiress,
Oh, fuck.
Heiress.
heiress,
Yeah, silent H.
oh yeah, fantasia,
Oh. Let's name our kid after a brand of. Let's name our kid after a fucking fruit drink.
Yeah.
tulip,
Ugh.
gracious and gorgeous.
Ugh.
Oh.
Mind you, I know someone that called their kid Khaleesi.
Khaleesi.
Yeah, the Game of Thrones
Oh, I don't watch it.
title now.
Fucking Lacey.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Also, a guy at work said to me that his sister-in-law had named their daughter Storm Dior. After the X-Man and the perfume.
I don't know this person,
No.
but I'm upset with this person.
Yes, me too. Yeah.
Have you got another one, Mike?
Yeah, Ben & Jerry's has a flavour graveyard for all discontinued flavours of ice cream.
Oh, that's kind of nice.
Little graveyards and headstones.
Oh, well, that's kind of sweet. I like that.
Our dearly departed White Russian.
Oh, man.
A
Yeah,
concoction.
fuck the white man. Sorry.
Is it a concoction? Yeah, a concoction so to die for we were forever in its debt. As the liquor kicked the budget, we finally had to say, not yet.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay.
And I should point out that Gaz is white.
Yeah,
As are we all.
I think, you know, I think that was, people know I'm white, don't they?
I have no idea. Maybe they watch the videos.
A meteor rong is a rock thought to be a meteorite, but which later turns out to be an ordinary Earth rock.
Yeah. I meet you wrong. Like it.
Yeah. Makes
The
sense.
most commonly misspelled word in Massachusetts is...
Massachusetts.
Yeah,
No, it's pretty hard to spell,
Yeah.
to be fair.
yeah, but if you live there, you would think...
The fuck that, it's still hard to learn.
Adam West and Frank Gorshin were once kicked out of an orgy because they refused to break a character as Batman and the Riddler.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
The other day.
And fair play to Adam West, is what I say.
Yeah, man.
And Frank Gorshin, although the Riddler would be slightly annoying in an orgy. But we're doing this. Which hole am I in? That would be annoying. But Batman at an orgy? Nah.
I don't know if I want to be in an orgy with Batman. It'd be pretty intense. Do you know what I mean?
It would, but still better than the Riddler.
I'm gonna come on your girlfriend's face.
No, this is Adam West Batman.
I'm gonna cut them.
Pow!
Girlfriend's face.
Ow!
Splat!
Splat, definitely.
Zinger!
Oh man, you know what? I used to love the old campy Batman as a kid, and I very much do. I could watch it now. That's the sad thing.
I've got the movie on DVD, man. I watch it now and then just for nostalgia reasons. It is dated, but it's incredibly charming though. It is charming.
Well, it was pure West under that suit, wasn't it? There's no rubber muscles there.
No, he was. That's what's the part of the charm, isn't it? The fact that he was a slightly tubby Batman. I love the costume though in that Batmobile.
Oh, the Batmobile was fantastic.
Yeah, good times.
The Russian Olympic team were 12 days late to the 1908 London Olympic Games as they had not accounted for the difference in dates between the Julian and Gregorian calendars.
Huh.
Oh,
You know what? That's not the first time they've done that either.
Isn't it?
No, they were meant to rock up for a battle with the French, with their allies, the Austrians,
Both working on
and they turned up
calendars.
late. They were on different calendars. Yeah, they turned up so many days late after the Austrians had been soundly thumped by Napoleon.
And bloody Russians.
This is so Victorian, isn't it? In 1887, Peter Pan author J.M. Barrie founded a cricket team whose members included A.A. Milne, Arthur Conan Doyle, H.G. Wells, P.G. Wodehouse, G.K. Chesterton and Rudyard Kipling.
What a cricket team! If they're probably all getting on a bit at that point, maybe.
Yeah.
But even so, what a cricket team!
Britain exports more than 50,000 boomerangs to Australia every year.
Wow. Well, there we go. There's a shred of comfort to hang on to Brexit. The boomerang market will still be going.
Do they send them back?
Hey! That's the problem. They all come right back.
Yeah.
American astronauts are able to cast votes via absentee ballots if they are on board a spacecraft during elections. Their address is listed as low Earth orbit.
Oh, that's nice.
That's pretty awesome.
If they're really up there.
They're up there.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Fuck you, flat earthers.
Yeah.
Rainbows are actually circular rather than semicircular. It is simply that when viewed from the ground, the Earth blocks the other half.
Because of the curvature.
From a plane, you can sometimes see a full rainbow.
Yeah.
There's a picture here of a full rainbow from a plane.
Very nice.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Curvature. Like the Earth.
And, you know, other nice curvy things.
Yeah, like all the other planets.
Boobs.
Boobs.
Sorry.
On the Pacific island of Niue, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
You can pay for lunch with a coin with the 12th Doctor's face on it. They issue legal tender with Star Wars, Doctor Who and Disney characters.
Nice.
Well, I'm down for the Star Wars money, but the Doctor Who money can fuck off, nerds. Sorry.
Well, they just issue the coins, don't they? You don't have a choice. You just like, you can't say, can I only have Star Wars coins, please, mate?
Yeah,
Just get you change.
I can. I don't want that nerdy Doctor Who.
Well, you can swap it at the first opportunity, can't you?
Yeah, okay. I'll accept.
Still legal currency.
I'll allow it.
So should you do some? Should you pause
Yeah.
it and find some full Alex?
Yep.
Yeah, then let's wrap this.
And we're back. So time for a full Alex, the most popular game show in this flat, where Mike plays us the clips of some random weirdo he's found on the internet, and then a clip of Alex Jones, and we decide who's gone more full Alex this week. Because it's okay to go part Alex. It's alright to go even half Alex, but never go full Alex.
No.
Right, so who's the first guy up?
First up, Pat Robinson
Friend of the show?
says you don't blow up an international alliance over one person.
Right, so I'm assuming this is referring to the Saudi Arabian journalist who was carved up pretty badly in the embassy and then covered up, and no one seems to be saying anything about it.
Yep.
Okay.
The plot thickens on this matter of this Saudi journalist. What happened to him? But what I'm saying, I'll say it now and I'll say it over and over again, we've got to cool the rhetoric. And what the president is trying to do is to give the Saudis an out, and calls for sanctions and calls for punitive action against the Saudis is ill-advised. Why? Because our main enemy in the Middle East is Iran. They are the fomenters of terrorism, and they're killing a lot of people. And then we've got Assad in Syria, who's killing many, many, many thousands of people and causing millions of refugees. You've got one journalist who knows? Was it interrogation? Was he assassinated? Were there rogue elements? Who did it? Well, the Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, is in Saudi Arabia today seeking answers from the Saudi royal family over that missing journalist, and allegedly who was killed by, they think, Saudi operatives, but they don't know for sure. And Wendy, I just don't think you've got $100 billion worth of arms sales, which is, that's one of those things. But more than that, we've got to have some Arab allies. We have to have it. We cannot alienate our biggest player in the Middle East who's a bulwark against Iran.
But can we have somebody that's killing journalists that are U.S. residents is the question.
We've had so many people killed. I mean, we had CIA people killed in Lebanon. The people have been taken hostage over the years. I know it's bad, but I mean, we've had all kinds of stuff. But you don't blow up an international alliance over one person. I mean, I'm sorry.
I'm sure that's exactly what Jesus would have said.
Wasn't I saying that earlier before we recorded?
Did you?
About wrestling fans.
Yeah.
So I'm not but that guy looks like he's a ghoul who's about to die, doesn't
Well, he looks like he's been folded into that position, doesn't it? It's like they've tucked his leg over and clamped him in a little bit, and then he's just like that, and he doesn't move.
He is
and
old
then someone has to come along and uncross him and help him up. And
yeah, he's old as shit for the listener if you don't know who he is.
Pat Robinson, he's a friend of the show by now. He's featured on many a full Alex. Usually flogging us his shit.
I don't know if it was that crazy, but it was certainly, I guess, going to be an unpopular.
He's like, oh yeah, but look at them $100 billion worth of arms sales. You've got to go with it. Well, Jesus wouldn't be in favour of that. You're a Christian preacher, you daft prick.
I know. Money.
And I'll guarantee you, he's on the take from the Saudis and some. Because think about it, he's a mouthpiece to to a lot of Americans. And you can't tell me the sailors haven't gone, hey, here's $1 million.
Yeah, and I hate to be such a pig, but the woman he's talking to is quite attractive.
She certainly is. She's a very attractive
At
woman.
least she says, but hang on a minute, they're going around killing innocent people. He said, well, we've killed billions of people ourselves.
Well, they
The
have.
CIA were getting killed in Lebanon. It's only one person. Wasn't Jesus all about life being precious?
Don't get your knickers in a twist. I mean, we're fucking popping people off left, right, and
Yeah,
centre.
the CIA have been garrotting people since the 70s, love. Oh, man.
Yeah,
What
you
a
couldn't-
tool.
Okay, next up we've got Jesse Lee
Oh,
Peterson.
no.
Who?
Jesse Lee Peterson.
Oh, I know who he is.
I'm reluctant to call him a friend of the
See
show.
that guy that can barely speak?
Yeah. I'm going to make a new expression, so he's a twat of the show.
Patron twat of the show.
Patron twat.
Right, he
Let's see what
says-
this fucking Mongol is. I mean, let's see what this tool's got to say.
He says black people have brought racism on themselves.
fuck
This
me.
Jesse Lee Peterson is black, by the way.
Yeah.
Lord.
So let's see
So
what-
when I first saw it, I thought the woman looked crazy because she was kind of weird about it. But I thought about the situation, and I realized black people have brought this upon themselves.
Yeah.
They have brought this upon themselves. They've been so violent over the years. Excuse me. They fight
It's the
against
white
police. They fight. We have seen knockout games. We have seen where blacks are going into the urban areas now or suburbs, and they're attacking white people. They're robbing, raping, and murdering. And rather than stopping it or being corrected, they're blaming it on racism or white people. And so now you have white folks who they have no other choice but to look out for themselves when they see a black person. They don't know who you are. They don't know you might not be a criminal, or they don't know that you are a professional person. You're black.
Jesse.
And majority of black people are out of control, especially when it comes to dealing with white people and themselves. Look at the crime in Chicago. Milwaukee is one of the most.
St. Louis.
St. Louis is one of the most dangerous areas on this side of heaven.
For real.
And so if you're white, you gotta protect yourself.
For part of that, the white guy who he's talking to just looked like he didn't know what to do with himself.
Well, he
And he's
half
working
caste.
for the show.
I think he was a half caste. I think he was white.
Well, he's alright then, he's certainly
Mixed race.
Mixed race.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I'm totally out of PC with that.
That's un-PC.
Yeah.
I don't even think mixed race is right now. Honestly, I think
Biracial.
there's a new one.
Biracial,
Yeah, that's
mate.
it.
But either way, he looks embarrassed for parts of that.
Yeah.
He almost seems to want him to shut up a little bit, but then realises that he's working for him and has to sort of go, oh yeah, yeah, you're right there. I mean, what's he on? I don't even know. I don't know whether he's had a stroke or
I
what.
can barely speak.
Look, just go on what he says and not what.
I know, but I'm
we
just
come back to this.
No, I'm not saying that in it. Has he had a stroke
Well, he made one.
and just
It doesn't
lost
matter.
his mental faculties?
Well, I don't think his mental faculties are all there, but you know. Well, we got a quick one from Alex. Alex Jones warns of World War event that many won't survive.
Oh, we've seen threads. We know all about this.
We certainly do.
I know a bunch of prominent Texas families that are evacuating Texas. Just evacuating, and they just say, word is, can't save the country. So remember this, leftist, all of you crazy people that want to burn it all down, you Antifa meth heads and all of you. If Trump can't stabilize the country, and if we don't make alliances and peace deals, and the world economy keeps going in this direction with population and all the crises and all the countries that have bioweapons, there's going to be a big world war. And there's going to be worldwide depression. And a lot of you aren't going to make it out of it. Because let me tell you, the left just wants to destabilize the country. They want the collapse to come. That's the evil globalist arm. I've got total chills. I don't know if you can zoom in with the camera, but I've got the hair standing up even on my chin right now. I've got goosebumps on my face. I've never had that. Because I'm saying the truth right now, and my subconscious mind is going, yes, that's what you're supposed to be doing. You are supposed to be doing this. I mean, I'm like on electric fire right now. Because this is what I'm supposed to do. And I don't want to get up here and fearmonger, folks, but this is going on. And I'm begging the crazy left, the brainwashed folks, you're victims. Zuckerberg's own documents admit they created the mind control. They put you in this position to, by successive approximation, make you more and more aggressive, more and more angry, more and more mentally ill, more and more wanting to ban words and ban freedom and ban speech and ban assembly and ban free market. As you run around with smartphones living in the lap of luxury, you're being set up to bring the country down. It's a scientific plan.
Some of what he says is true.
I've got to admit, I agree with Alex this week.
As always, he's, like you said...
Maybe not the leftists, but...
Yeah.
So, you're talking about the very people that you're talking to, the sheep, but you're slapping the label on the people that aren't the sheep to a point, but at the same time they are all running around with smartphones, living in a reasonably comfortable life.
Plus,
compared to other standards across the world.
Yeah. Plus, never forget he's got a lot of survival equipment to sell you.
He does have a lot of survival equipment to sell you.
Just because you've got iPhones and stuff doesn't mean you can't protest for something better for everybody.
No, I'm not saying you can't, but...
You know, I've got an iPhone, I went out there to protest. I didn't just protest for myself, I protested for the people who couldn't protest.
You're doing it for me because I couldn't be asked.
There we go.
Thank you.
I was going for more like the elderly and the infirm.
He was doing it for me because I just wanted a day out in London.
Thank you for your service, Mike.
I just walked alongside, getting high off the free cannabis people.
That's why I didn't thank you.
But,
yeah, I agree with Alex a little bit. A little bit.
I do, kind of. But at the same time, he did go the more batshit insane at the 3.
Yeah.
Jesse Lee Peterson's just a twat.
Yeah, he's a knob.
Pat Robinson has been folded into that position quite painfully. And quite clearly has no idea what he's going on about.
He looks like, you know, like a Halloween skeleton.
Yeah.
So I put a suit on.
It's a fucking crypt keeper.
It's just the bones sticking out.
It's the crypt keeper. They've put a suit on the crypt keeper, folded him into position, and said, right, crack on with it, mate.
Oh, man. Well,
just, you know, but
he's going to die on air one day. He's just going to, in the middle of a sentence, stop.
And you know what? It'll be the best thing he ever did.
And I'll be like, excuse you alright? And he'll be gone.
But, you know, he's meant to be a preacher of Christian values.
Yeah, and he's, with that $100 billion worth of arms deals. Hey,
we need
gotta love
money.
that. Gotta love that.
We need that money.
Yeah.
He's just a realist. But yeah, I think Alex did go the most crazy. He's got it this week.
Yeah.
So
I'll go with Alex.
That was Never Go Full Alex. So should we wrap it up, boys?
Yeah. That's been our Halloween episode. Hope you enjoyed it. I've been Ben, and I'm going to say don't drink the Flavour Aid and don't join a cult.
I've been Gaz. I will say free Biff Tannen and bye.
I've been Mike. Thanks for listening. Peace out. May the Force be with you.
Start the Jedi thing?
Yeah.
Still, yeah. Grey Jedi?
Hey, no.
No, you go for the grey. Get the best of both then, didn't you?
Like a bisexual.
Yeah. Think about it.
Nah, any movement towards the dark side is too much.
Yeah, but you can... you know, we'll talk about our hair. Right, anyway, thanks for listening. Good night.